Let's pit them. Ahri open. The problem is Ahri's open, but Orianna's available. Orianna really dumps the Zarya in lane now. The Ahri-Ori matchup. It's going to be hard on my accent. Jarvan first locked in for Guon. Other side now. Do you have to take away the Rumble and the Orianna? Stop both of those combos coming through? That does mean you're blind picking both your solo laners, but it is... Maybe you feel threatened by that Jarvan and how it can combo up with those two solo laner picks. Now you don't have the Akali or the Sylas answers to the Orianna. You could go Azir and say, okay, we don't really want the Orianna, but we can take the Azir side of it. Now the problem is now, Kaz pretty happy, I think, to go for the Orianna. Yep, just an easy Orianna slam. And then the other thing you could do here is just slam the Cassante. Sorry, I have only just woken up. It's been a long week, folks. Slam the Cassante. Cassante just exists versus Rumble, and then eventually this becomes a blocker in the front line. Now, Kerr has played a fair amount of Kassadin in his career. In fact, one of my very favorite games from last year was, I think, FPX versus JDG, where Jway was on Nico support. This is before people knew that Nico support was super broken. You got a bunch of format ults, and Kerr was playing Kassadin, died a lot earlier than carried late game. It was very, very fun. Orianna is the lock-in though, but I just want to say the Kassadin is actually a hover you need to consider for Kerr. It's a little less memey than you may be aware. I keep hoping for the GP slam into Rumble. Wasn't aware it was that good actually. Fair play. I'll keep that in mind. Mundo locked in for WE, trying to be a frontline blocker from that frontline themselves. In a way that I suppose the Cassante is trying to be for the other side. Mundo has been very important in Pro when it has been picked, because what it does do is it means that you can face shape brushes really well. Imagine this, right? Typically, Jarvan walks up to a brush, there's an Orianna in there. Orianna shockwaves you, you die. Mundo has a chance of living through that. Got your coffee? I do, Blade. Hey, Blade, how's it going? Yeah, I do have my coffee, but sometimes coffee is like, it's working a very hard shift in my life. I really don't want to be going through as much caffeine as I do, but yeah. I napped and ruined my sleep schedule. Yeah, that'll do it. I do that often. I do that commonly often. Yeah, okay, so 80 carries getting banned away by WE, supports by NIP. I think Alistair's pretty good for the side of WE. They want an extra front line to kind of deal with some of the shockwaves as well. First nap you've had in 2 years? Oh, that couldn't be me. Northless, by the way. So stopping away. Okay, in fairness, that W need engage, and I think that the Alistair as a solo engage can be a bit flimsy. Ezreal can escape from the Cataclysm. About is pretty happy with that. Now you have a couple of options here from Yao Yao. You can just sack lane and say, right, well, the Sivir and the Kai'Sa are gone. Some of their scaling advantages are gone. We can go for something like the Alistair and just survive through lane, have an extra tank front line, so it's Mundo Alistair, who's just really annoying to get rid of. On the side of NIP, you need something that follows the engage. Something that hopefully adds to it too. Solo engage Jarvan is pretty rough, especially into these carries. I think they're the ones which need some engage, you know? But the problem is, if you slam in a weak lane, then you get Karmad, and then you get yeah, well then you get Karmad, you know? Lulu locked in. So do you sack the lane or do you contest? Do you Karma for the 2v2 push? Do you Alistair for far better frontline? Trying to think if there's anything else. Technically you could go Leona for ranged engage. Ezreal Leona used to be a decent duo. Alright, looks like we're fist fighting. Okay, cool. Let's fist fight. Yao, locking in the Karma. So just thinking of these compositions, quite low engage from both teams. So what that means is that macro will be very important. We might see a longer game because it is much harder to finish off a game with lower engage. In terms of Future Draft, I prefer more. I think I prefer WEs, but it's not by a huge amount. Rumble Cassante, wash. Mid lane's a wash. Bot lane, I guess bot lane's winning by Ezreal Karma. However, you know, you do have Jarvan Orianna, but it's into a comp which, you know, I am expecting Rumble to go Zhonya's maybe second or third. He does need it. How do they kill Cassante? They have an Azir, they have a Rumble, they'll be fine. There'll be a Bloodletters on the Rumble, it'll help. Like, they will have the damage for that. And then, when you have double AP solo laners, the Ezreal does more damage because there's less incentive to build armor. Let's get ourselves into that first game of the day. Our first game of the day. Like we even know how to fish. So W is pushing, NIP is engaging. Yeah, but NIP don't have the best engage either because they have one engage source, which is the Jarvan, and it's against carries which can escape the combo. So I'm actually quite worried for NIP's engage. They're going to have to perform very well early. Alrighty, let's hear those gyos. So, Lorca, I somewhat agree with the whole, you know, well, Azir into Cassante, you know, does Cassante really die? So, what I would raise is this, is that Azir always has a little more damage than you expect, for one, and then you can just build up Bloodletters on the Rumble, which helps basically get a free extra bit of a, Void Staff in them. So what that means is that if you have a Void Staff on Azir and a Bloodletters on Rumble, then the magic resist eventually just becomes not very useful. See the push working from Ezreal Karma, no surprises there. Both junglers going top the bot. Gonna be on a similar timer, I suppose. Oh, one of the annoying things about going top to bot on blue side is you have to take the red buff in the weird order, right? Red, Krugs, Raptors. Can slow you down a little bit at the back end of your clear. Why isn't Hellfire Hatchet in Summoner's Rift? Great question. I used to play that a ton on Senna and Kha'Zix and go like poke Hatchet. It's actually very, very important because there are so many tanks which are so broken in Arena. For those of you that don't know, by the way, Hellfire Hatchet was a Omnivamp lethality item, but it would apply a burn to your target based on their HP. With the first attack every like 20 seconds or something. Or maybe it's like every 30 seconds or something. Mid lane, see that Karis. Ooh, Karis. Okay, what he wanted to do there was slide in for the shield. This is what a lot of this is doing lane. You slide in for the shield, hope you get the damage, especially because the AP ratio has been increased a fair amount, and even with the Doran's Ring, it can help with that. Basically, over time, they tried to make Azir more into a combo champion than a DPS champion. Certainly less of a poke champion. They really hated his poke build, did right? And I understand why. It was actually looking back on it very obnoxious. But yeah, if you misplace your soldiers and you E and you just end up in the mini wave, you just get ran down by clockwork wind up. It's really annoying. Ooh, Monkey not able to steal that. Guon safely through his first clear. Also worth noting here, Guon is not going for the bot scuttle contest. A lot of the meta has been win bot lane, invade through bot side, get bot scuttle as well. Control the bot side of the map, give your support a platform to win the game off of vision control, and see how it goes. If you want, a great example of how to do that, the last game yesterday between Weibo JDG was really important for that. Gala and Vampire were very close to winning a 2v2 with a strong bot lane, but they lost very unexpectedly for them actually. They got bot diffed yesterday, by the way. And what that meant is that enemy, their jungler couldn't get to bot scuttle, couldn't go for invades. They ended up falling behind, and then the weaknesses of their composition from playing from behind came to play. So we'll see what happens in this one. Where NIP, they do need the Jarvan to be scary. They need the Jarvan to be strong. He's fine, kind of taking stuff like the top scuttle for now. Miserable for NIP bot lane for now, just no outplay. What they're looking to do is just soak a couple of those Karma Qs, Ezreal Qs with the Lulu shield, and just keep within 10 CS. Keep it to 10 CS lead and you're fine. If it goes to like 20, 30, that's when you start worrying, actually, because when you get into the first fights of the game, you just don't have the tools to fight them anymore. Not really. There was a really funny WE name at some point. What was it? I'm just thinking back to. Oh yeah. There was was it Weevil? Oh my god. There have been some very funny oh no, that was it. I'm forgetting. WE used to have LP as their AD carry, so just when things went wrong, it was just whelp. Oh god. Well, I guess you're wondering how I ended up here. Oh my god, I just remembered that. I knew there was a funny WE name at some point in the last few years. Because in China they don't have a space between the tricode and the name. Of course, the best one being, of course, R.A. Nio, who is now playing for top esports. That's a lot of skill shots missing, though. But Monkey is hit. Did they miss those skill shots on purpose to bait them in? Perhaps. One can only tell. About jumping forwards. Jarvan is down here, too. You can see that his team is still, you know, losing the trade. Go on, try. You just use your Q, buddy. I'm not sure about that one. Karras does have level 6. Oh, Karras, what he was trying to do is predict a shockwave there. Instead, just goes in and uses the ult. I mean, he was probably wanting to use his ult there anyway. One of the things about the Azir Orianna matchup is you find it a lot harder to use your ult than the Orianna does. Ooh, good Q accuracy from about there. Again, the CS lead is starting to get a little dangerous here if they don't pick up too many. That shockwave there, and even though Karras played the individual matchup well, he's going to blow his own flash. Care happy with that. Guon can now revisit that with the Cataclysm later. Monkey will spot the bot lane going for the turret. Cube realizes, look, I'm alone here. There's a chance of a Jarvan pathing topside. I'm just going to get out of here. Guon does not have level 6. Going to walk up and threaten. Remember, there's no flash on Karras, so he would be a dead bird. Dead bird is a... Oh no, technically dead bird is not a... I don't think it's Dead Dove is the Binding of Isaac axe item. That's it, Dead Dove. That's the one. So Dead Bird was the name of it. Oops, my bad. Cube contesting this. Monkey walking up towards topside. If Guon gets this, he gets level 6 worth noting. Who gets it? He does. No, he gets level 6 just a bit before Monkey. So Monkey... His achievement so far this game is making sure that bot lane is kind of dunked in CS. And they've lost 2 plates on bot lane turret now. And they've ended up losing, a bunch of CS2. Although, again, stay to about 10 CS. It's actually fine. It'll go up to about 15 when this wave comes in. Assume jumping forwards with the early level 6. Nice, that's a good trade. Oh yeah, I forgot that Lando Norris was a streamer. Famous streamer Lando Norris, you know, that's his claim to fame, obviously. Yeah, I did notice he accidentally put like a Steam profile on stream. Monkey goes in for the invade. Wait, is the owner of a Halo team called Quadrant? That's cool. Didn't realize that. Okay, but the NIP obviously spot this out. They can't do anything about it. Monkey, by the way, is just going to slingshot ahead in XP. He didn't get it from that first scuttle. Now, Cad just uses Shockwave in mid lane. That's why Karras looks kind of, you know, not very happy. Jump onto Yao Yao. Karma Root comes through. Good discipline for now. Uses the heal. Gorn has to flash away. And now Draw's in a lot of trouble there too. Thinking about the Q. Waiting for his cooldowns to come back up. Mid dodges out on the fly track. First blood over to Team WE through this bot lane. Assume puts on the afterburners though. Starts to get some damage down. Has some decent damage to play with here. Draw could use the heal to speed him up. Chooses not to. Decent turnaround from Assume, you know. Both AD carries. Fighting hard and about dying with barrier up. I wonder whether he would have lived there. Maybe not. Probably not, actually. I've got a couple of friends on like the team ownership sides of things, and they're big F1 fans. I'm sure they're very happy that Lando is into Halo and COD and the like. Halo and COD are just the esports scenes which I never really checked out. Although, I mean, I really like the idea of like watching like MLG, Halo, etc, etc. Ogre 1, Ogre 2, the Ogre brothers. Some of the greatest esports. Yeah, Ogre 2 is one of the greatest esports players of all time, by the way. That guy is sick. Go on, going for the red buff steal, trying to return the favor to Monkey stealing blue buff earlier, and does. Guan's doing pretty well at keeping up with the champo, which just farms quicker than you. About a reminder, he doesn't have flash. He used that for the kill earlier. And he's dead. Used the barrier and just gets blasted. They didn't see it coming. Monkey couldn't walk down in time. Tower goes dropped. Here comes Karis, though. And that's going to be Cat right behind him. Not bad damage onto Assume. Does have flash. Jumping back in. Guan. Oh, God, Karis. That's less good. There is a shockwave, by the way. Blows the passive of Mundo. Doesn't kill. Okay, messy. Not in the football goat way. Karis, I think, has actually had a very good start to the year, you know. I know that Kerr did he did beat him in the first matchup they had between each other. And again, the Ari was really good from Kerr. I'm obligated to remind you there was an Ari one trick before he went into LPL in the pro scene. Kerr's playing well, you know, and I have to say, Kerr is one of those players. I feel like I say this every time he starts doing well, because people, I think, need to consider this more. I think they do. Kerr, when he's on form, is one of the better mid laners in the LPL. Monkey just dies. Pops the ult, he still dies. Guon's finding the angles quite well now. Monkey, despite, you know, some of his great play over this year and the last, getting a bit diffed here, actually. He is now. Guon's having far more impact. Grubs are going to go over to NIP now. Guon's having a great time of it. Hey, Soul Puppy, how's it going? So, now NIP sit at a 1.5. Oh, Ezreal took one of them. Ezreal took one of them. Okay, alright, fair play. 2-1, great Ezreal ult, good job about. So NIP, despite the fact that the early lane was kind of shocking, did manage to withstand the pressure, and now they're ahead of the game. Because the Mundo is now behind, I worry that WE, who are trying to play around the Mundo's sole front line with Karma Shields. That's the steal again. Nice. Good accuracy, good timing. I don't think Jarvan is that sticky though, Harold, is the thing. And also, he's not necessarily... I wouldn't have said he was necessarily the counter. I would have said that... Oh, I guess early game. I think that Xin Zhao just destroys Mundo. I think Xin Zhao's far better. He just has way more sustained fight. Mundo can't win in an extended fight versus the Xin Zhao is the thing. He does win an extended fight versus the Jarvan. Hang on, he could potentially ult over the wall here. Cube's not careful enough. Potential of a sweep back into the Mundo, and there it is. There's a flash for Orianna though. Flashes away from the briefcase. Summon it down. Could be worse. Fight on the bot side. Assumed has one item, not two. He's 1v2ing. Does get rooted. He's just going to die. Assume he flashes, tries to get towards Tro, who's not in range. And he'll die. 1v2 from Assume. Badly played from him. Oh, Lee Sin is also one of the best champions in the game into Mundo, by the way. Monkey's walking forwards again. Walks away with a blue buff. Let me see what... Hang on, what statistically counters him? Nidalee destroys him. Karthus is very good versus him, weirdly. Didn't expect that. Pantheon's good into him. Jax is good into him. Oh, no, that's not true. So, no, he's good into Jax, rather. Okay. Jace destroys him. Uda is very good into him, apparently. Xin Zhao early is really bad for him. Later, it's great. Zed is very happy. No, Jarvan, so funnily enough, I was just looking at a stats website. Apparently, Early, very early game, Mundo beats Jarvan, and then it's in the mid game where Jarvan starts to take off, which is kind of what we're seeing here. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted a little bit. Now we get onto this dragon. So great dumping into the backline. They do get the Karma, but they don't get the Ezreal. One down, but without the Karma, it's their Enchanter down. Monkey, you're kind of in a 2v3. Karras turns up now. Gonda has no ult flag. Drag misses about, but Assume can maybe get the kill. The sweep goes on to Care, but doesn't quite kill. Cube has to go in to finish the job. It's not bad damage from Cube. The Equalizer doesn't tag Assume, though. Really not great on the Equalizer there. Very nearly kills the extra carry. There you go. Assume goes down. A last Cube from the Ezreal. It's a messy fight again. What is that, 2 for 2? Well, it's 2 for 3 because Yayo died at the start of it. NIP winning out on that trade. So no one gets to stick around and take the dragon. You know, Monkey died. So we couldn't really stick around for that. Flash for the dunk. The R key from Care just a little slow, so about managed to get that. It did have flash as well. And what happens after this point? So Monkey, I think, overstays. I think he goes in a little bit too early. Karras is making his way into the play a little late. Assume then just finds the angle onto the Ezreal to push him out of the play. I thought that he was going to be dead at that point. This Equalizer could have been a lot better, folks. It could have been on either side of the fight. If it just tags Assume, makes a lot of difference there, I think. Good last snipe there, though, from about to pick that up. At the end of the play, NIP will pick up the dragon. Still ahead a similar amount of gold to what they were earlier. And we're getting towards the point where we're, in the next few minutes, we're going to be seeing second items picked up. Hoya looks like he's going for the Frostfire Gauntlet. Wants the extra slow versus the quadruple, well, I mean, technically triple range comp, but it's more like quadruple because the Rumble kind of plays like that too. You want the extra slow, basically. See that Care's gone for the burn build of the Blackfire Torch. No Saras to him. Carol taken down by WE. There'll be some, hang on. Karras looking for the solo kill. Hang on, neither of them have flash. Care is just going to die. He has Shockwave, can't use it. Good play by Karras in the side lane. Bit of a up and down game for him. I suppose the same for Care now, actually. Care's had a couple of great moments. Both mid laners kind of giving as good as they get, basically. Hey, MG, how's it going? About getting jumped in the mid lane, gets hit by the Arc of Ruin. Assume will walk forwards with the Lulu buffing them, and it's this time About finds himself in a 1v2. However, first turret go down top side. Very close to being evened up by the Sensei. Ult now drops in mid lane. It's not bad damage, actually, from Cube. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Kasante Gaming. You know what? I've come to accept Kasante. I think Kasante is a lot less unfair than he was. I will say, level 20 Kasante is... Yeah, we got problems, level 20 Kasante. So what happened here? Oh, he just walks into the... Well, yeah, I guess he walks into a brush and Azir bursts him. If Azir can start the fight on their terms, before the ball is already out, that's when the Orianna can have some trouble. Because if the fight opens up with a shockwave, Azir finds it really hard to trade back. If you can be the one to open up with the sweep instead, which we've seen Karras do multiple times now, it helps you a lot more. It's also getting to the point where, you know, he has a Rylai's. We were saying that, well, Orianna doesn't have the... Oh, it wasn't even the 1v2. He just hit by that Arc of Judgment, gets that Slurkle hits him. And then they got split. Mid lane turret go down. Comp of Duo. Let me think. Let me think. Fiend Hunter bolts in for a scene, by the way, and the Cole's cashed in, so he's very, very happy. I am thinking about that compound, don't worry, Duo. You know, in my heart, you're not just Duo Maiden, because Maiden races are where you debut as a JRA horse. You're a Duo G1, the greatest of all racing accolades, G1. Perhaps even the Duo Classics, the Duo Triple Crown. Hoya is teleporting in as a full tank Kasante, so he's probably going to be okay. Look, the Roll Quest TP shield is really helping him here, and he's still almost getting one shot. Monkey, similarly taking a fair amount of damage. Hoya, buddy, even with the roll quest, that got a little bit dicey there. Fiend Hunter Bolts, yes, that is a very powerful item there, Blade. Oh, John Kid for a huge old combo. Gets out with the flag drag. Didn't want to be stuck in the front line. The shockwave's not bad either, but Monkey's still alive. They don't quite calculate it well enough. And that's the engage gone now. The engage is gone. No shockwave, no cataclysm, no transcended self. Fire walking on towards Monkey. I'm not gonna lie, I think Monkey's fine now. I think he's fine. And that's highlighting one of the issues, well, the big issue with this game. Neither team has great engage. We called this out from the draft, but basically neither team has wonderful engage. You know how sometimes people will, I say people very liberally because this also includes myself. That's just the kind of beast I am. You know how some people will replay a conversation in their head and be like, ah, should have done it like that. Or, you know, rethinking a scenario and trying to think your way through it. Like, oh, I should have done this. I feel like this is that version of League of Legends where no one really has enough engage. So you're just sat there just looking at each other and going, if I'd had this conversation the way I'd had in my mind, it would have been perfect. I would have engaged and everyone would have got caught in the cataclysm. Dragon's alive, by the way. Back to reality. Yeah, it's kind of... One of the problems with the Karma here is the Karma just is a less useful champion than Lulu now. About jumps over the wall. Oh, the ultimate's back up from an IP, and there still are summoners for W worth noting. It might come down to one of those big old smite fights. The equalizers drops, not bad damage. This kit is zoning off a little bit. That's not a bad shockwave. Monkey and Karis get jumped onto. That's not a bad sweep to try and buy some space. In fact, it's got them right back into the flame spitter. And Karis, with his dying breath, brings the front line back into proportion. A bow gets jumped onto. Needs the last couple of autos. Can't quite get the shields, and IP win the fight. Yeah, just can't save his team as the one last survivor. The Azir Shuffle very nearly wins them the fight. Very nearly wins them the fight. Because what it does is it shoves everyone back into the flame spitter, and Cube was doing a ton of damage. Ton of damage. You had the blood letters, so it did, you know, shred the MR there too. Watch this again, right? So Guan goes in for the big old play. Equalizes down, ends up separating the team, and it buys W a bit of time to try and poke out. And then Shockwave lands, really well played from Care. Then watch this from Karis afterwards, because he ends up shoving everyone back into the flame spitter just after as well. 3-man Ezreal, About has a great time with that. That flash wasn't great from About. He gets hit by the Q3 after. I think About can actually outplay this with the flash. Anyway, NFP win the fight, get Dragon. 3 items now. Assume's gone Bloodthirst to third. We don't see many Yunaras pick up Sustain. Karis a decent amount of gold behind, but he does have that Rylai's now. Just giving him a bit more HP to work with. You can see that Ker's going for like double burn build. He's going for the Leandries. Huh, really low viewers today. I guess, wait, T1's playing us. It's T1 playing, I suppose. And I would imagine that some of the big streamers are live. Oh, I will dominate live as well. Okay, that makes sense. Because he's actually, he's streaming a little bit. And Cage's live too. Which is fair, of course. No. When I said people earlier, Angie, I said that I was included in that, so I was a people in that sense. Oh, okay, maybe I'm misjudging the tone of that. Anyway. So the map's slowed down a little bit now. Well, the fights have slowed down while we play the map, rather. End of the day, you gotta play the map, then map the plays. That's the way with League of Legends, so they say. I will get hydrated. Thank you, Angie. Dragon up in 2.5 minutes. Guan has his flashback up. Worth noting, well, this is really dangerous because there's a point where Guan's flash is up and the carries of WEs are down. Is Daytona that big of an event, Blade? Especially, I put it this way. Do you expect League of Legends players to be Daytona watchers? I understand this is a big event. I hear the name a lot. It's not my thing, but yeah. I wouldn't say the overlap would be huge, would it? Maybe I don't understand the demographic. Oh, hang on. This is interesting too, by the way. About has gone for the Endless Hunger third item, which effectively is a... It's kind of a win more item, where if you get a kill or an assist, you end up getting huge healing afterwards based on your stats. It's kind of like it's a late game scaling item. Look up the item again. So you don't see this item that much. So 60 AD, 5% Omnivamp, 20% Tenacity. And you get some extra ability haste as well. So you get, like... Yeah, it's based on your AD. So your AD goes into ability haste, which is really important for Ezreal, obviously. But yeah, when you get a takedown, you get 15% Omnivamp for 8 seconds. So it's a very good scaling item. I hadn't expected to see it here. I mean, to be honest, I feel like it needs a Surrealdas. Even against the, even with double AP solo laners, he does need the armor at some point. Okay, fair play, fair play. Dragon up in 30 seconds now. Seeker's built up by Karis, so he's going to be a little bit more safe from the shockwave. Now, W have been in these sorts of situations before where they've lost early game and they have to fight their way back late game. Karis on his ear has carried a couple of games like that. You see that teleports out onto the map. Hoya's behind them. Can he drag someone back in? Well, shockwave's down. Karis goes golden. Ooh, Hoya tried to punt him back in the team, couldn't quite. Monkey might still die. That ult is doing a lot of work, and the equalizer is kind of shit again. Not great, Cube. Cube's equalizers have been quite poor. Very good item on Smolder too. Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that. Now, the problem is, comparing to something like the Bloodthirst, you don't get that overshield, but it does give you Omnivamp, which helps on all of your damage, of course. Okay, good damage with the QW. Forces the heal out of Yao Yao. Monkey getting gunned down by the Nymaera. He's very good at just kind of, you know, running at you. Yeah, not the best equalizers this game from Cube. You need to see more. Cube doesn't have that ultimate for a little while now. Jumping onto Monkey, who's going to flash away. Okay, flash down for a couple of people now. Q3 hit by Hoya. Again, you can see the lack of engage really being put to the forefront here. We're getting to the point now where ultimates are coming back up. Everyone's got enough ability haste where, in a very, very long fight, you just get him back. Dragon's going to be taken by NIP. W can't really fight this anymore. At the end of the day, it's not like W have any engage either. Besides a crazy sweep from the Azir. Morbius sweep. Is there another movie that people... You know how Morbius was so greatly reviled that it kind of turned into it was so bad that it turned into meme internet culture, and they made it... Well, the groundswell led to it being released in cinemas again, where it flopped a second time. So not only did it flop, they released it again, and it flopped again. What movie, if you had the choice, would you re-release back into cinemas just to see it flop again? Alright, you have a choice of any movie in the world. What movie would you release to see it flop again? Aragon? I mean, that movie was really shit. That movie, the books were quite special, you know. They were quite, but the movie was really, really bad. Oh, that's true. Yeah, there is no Aragon movie. True. It is. Yeah, I'm glad they never released that. Percy Jackson movie was really bad. Yeah, that was really bad. You have it on DVD? Oh no. Oh god. The live-action Dragon Ball movie. Now, the thing is, what was really crazy about the live-action Dragon Ball movie is that it was so bad that it got the mangaka to, like, start again, effectively. No, it's pretty bad, Vinculus. It's pretty bad. It's a very bad adaptation. It's a very bad adaptation. I suppose actually as a movie, it's like mediocre, but actually as an adaptation, it's just straight up bad. You have the Aragon game that's based on the movie. That's a thing which is kind of gone and come and gone, by the way. The era of video game adaptations to movies, because effectively when it was a PlayStation 2 original Xbox era, it was so cheap to make games compared to the movie cost. You may as well chuck it in as extra marketing. This is something that the Star Wars prequels did really well. Also have the Lord of the Rings game based on Two Towers. The Two Towers and the Return of the King game were really, really good. I can't remember the Fellowship of the Ring one as well. Hang on, jumping on to draw. Blows the flash. Yeah, movie tie-ins used to be... Video game tie-ins to movies used to be very popular. To make anyway by studios, because they were just a good return on investment a lot of the time, because they weren't crazy to make in terms of the cost, and then, you know, chance of them popping off. Yeah, that kind of the era of that stopped at some point. But yeah, the Star Wars prequels did very well with that. You know, Attack of the Clones, I think it had something like 12 tie-in movies, something like that. No, the tie-in games. No, WNRP are pushing up. Again, there's very little engaged, so we're kind of waiting until you do something like that. There's still a Shockwave available, and they do get summoners out of About and Yeah, About didn't have that flash to use. Equalizer's better this time. Go on, Wolf Flag Drag. He's under the Azir turret, though, and he's gone too far. Okay, game's speeding up a little bit now. Now your Jarvan's gone. Do they go Baron? Baron? Now the thing is, Sol is up in 2 minutes. What's your plan? Do you run at Baron and say we have an Azir, we can take this, we can tank this? They're going to take mid lane turret first. Folks, you might have wasted too much time now. W push down mid lane. They're going to go towards Baron. If they start Baron now and they take it on good timing, they may be able to reset before the Ocean Soul. If they don't get Ocean Soul, they have completely screwed this. Okay. Right, coming back onto this Baron now. Hoya going forwards, trying to go onto Karis. Can't quite get... No! The Shockwave whiffs, and the Baron's going to go over to WE. Yeah, the lack of engage is really hurting them. Zonya's from Cube. That's a lot of damage onto Hoya. He's going to go down. Now, can NIP somehow get the dragon in 50 seconds? WE need to reset ASAP. If they reset... Monkey, dude, yeah, please, reset. You have like 40 seconds till Dragon. Don't take your damn Grom. Oh, jeez. Okay, right, so they're going to walk back out onto the map. There's a Cyrildas now for Ezreal. He's really hit some crazy items. So Bout gets spotted out here. Flash forwards, and he goes onto the Karma. And then, yeah, they managed to run away. And then Gorn's gone really, really deep. You can see that the Soul Engage duty really sucks for the drama. I don't even think that Gorn's playing it individually poorly. You know, he's got to get those flashes out sometime and try and get that play started. He's the only person that can engage in this game. Okay, so Dragon was taken. It hasn't been taken. It's up now. Turret pushed in. NIP, do they have any way to contest the Dragon? Orianna's pushing top lane. We'll take an inner turret. NIP feel like they can't defend the base. A movie that released flop and I want to release again for it to not flop is Treasure Planet. That's a great point. Treasure Planet was really characterful. Really liked that film. Oh, a movie I'd release again to not flop is the D&D movie. That was actually a very good film, the D&D movie. Okay, right, this dragon will be sold for NIP if they get it. It's not bad this time. Karis does have flash. He might have to use... He's not going to be able to use it. He gets dragged back. He tries to get things through. He does get a sweep up, but the is down. Karis has had a pretty bad game, folks. Assume is still up and alive, and now you've got to play the late game fight without your carry. You were just using the Baron buff really well. Juan's been taken low, though, and at the end of the day, if you look... That's a good shockwave. That's a very good shockwave. That might actually save things for them. Keep going forwards with the flames, but takes a lot of damage. Monkey's getting business mode on. It's business time, so said the Flight of the Conchords. Monkey getting a lot of damage down. The dragon's still at half HP. It's not even smite range just yet. Goes into the back of the pit. Oh my god, they don't know he's there. Don't know he's there. They do now. He pops out of that brush. Guys, what are you going to do? About trying to get some extra damage down. It gets taken by an IP. They take the soul. Monkey's walking forwards. He's trying to regen. He's not taking a bad shove of it. About trying to get his own poke in, but the Ocean Soul is there now, and that poke is not going to last nearly as long as you'd like to. About just about lips of the Omnivamp by the Endless Hunger. Q1 jumps in, tries to kill the AD carrier now, despite taking that dragon. May fall, no escapes. NIP somehow get the soul. About will throw the ult out. I don't think this kills. It doesn't kill, I don't think. It's not even going to hit. Oh, good lord. Karis, Zhonya's the initial engage, couldn't flash out, got all outed back towards his back towards the enemy team. Oh dear, NIP getting the soul. W just after that Baron buff. This was somewhat the worry, by the way, that if they went towards mid lane then Baron, maybe they'd struggle to set up for Dragon in time, and I think they did. I mean, Karis, my dude, you just can't be positioning like that. This is like the third or fourth time that he's been engaged on, so I get that he's got the Zhonya's, and I suppose it's easier for that. He almost gets a full team shuffle, by the way. If he gets everyone in there, it actually doesn't matter. I would argue at that point, just flash into the enemy team and just try and get the full sweep. And that shockwave is just magnificent. It's both bot laners. About does have Omnivamp. And, you know, it does help when his ult hits then at that point, because he actually gets decent regen through. I just don't know how W win against an Ocean Soul now. Against a Cassandra with Ocean Soul who's going to get, like, level 20? I don't know. That's pretty bad. Monkey's passive pops. Azir pushing up mid lane. The Baron Burst well worn off at this point. NIP still behind in gold, but I don't think they care too much. Crystallize and destroys the tower. So all outer towers are now down. Karis has full Zhonya's, doesn't have flash. Burned that in the last fight. Still, I think Kair's shockwaves have been very, very good. In terms of player of the game, I think it probably still is Kair, you know. I think that Guon's had a couple of iffy moments. Well, not that Kair hasn't, but I think the shockwaves have been very important to this game. I guess Guon is soul engage. You can give him some more points for that. Too bad. Be careful. It's fine. Jumping on to Monkey now. He doesn't have flash. He needs to pop the ult, like, fairly early, actually. The redemption's coming through. This is a pretty tanky Mundo. The shockwave comes through. That is a very tanky Mundo, but you shouldn't be there, buddy. You just shouldn't be there. Monkey, he just goes down. The protoplasm pops. The fact that he dies despite taking so long to die shows you how far out of position he was. You know, if you've got to invest that amount of time and that amount of damage into him, probably just shouldn't be there. That being said, you know, the Aragon movie, I wouldn't even put it up in the list of, like, worst adaptations ever. I wouldn't put it up like that, because there are so many awful adaptations out there. And that is I mean, for me, the very worst adaptation for me, well, actually no, that's actually quite a long list. I jumped to the Halo series, because the Halo series was really bad. But there are a great many out there. Reminder, oh my god, it's a lot of damage on the drop. Now, can they activate the Ocean Soul to get that regen through? Baron's being taken down. Kair going to try and hold the door shut and use the shockwave. Cube not going to be in position to do much here. Reminder that Mundo was still dead. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. I mean, I thought that the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie was fine. I thought that was fine, honestly. And in fact, actually, I would say, by the way, I would say, instead of reading the books, well, don't read the books anyway, they're good. I would actually say listen to the radio show. The radio show that was done by the BBC was really, really good. I think it was BBC. But there was a radio, like, adaptation for The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is one of the best adaptations ever, I would say. Oh, season 2 of the series. Apparently, the series of Percy Jackson is really well. It started well for like the first episode, and then the pacing was bad. And then the problem that Percy Jackson's fallen into is apparently it's fallen into the Netflix horrible. It's this Netflix slop now of where I have to explain everything that's happening on screen 3 to 4 times to people who are watching it on a second screen. Okay, so Elder's up in a minute. NIP trying to push in as a grouped unit again, threatening with that shockwave when Archaic joins the party. He's not with the clump right now. Team pushes in for the mid lane inner turret. Foxy sucked on Disney Plus. I thought they were struggling before that too, not gonna lie. But yeah, apparently the last season was not very good. T-minus 45 seconds until Elder Dragon spawns. We have gone late game for our first game of the day. Hoya is so tanky. Level 19 Cassante. Why did we allow level 19 Cassante to exist? Go on. Could jump forwards, you know, the whole engage thing, which both teams struggle to do. Bao just doesn't do... Hoya's just never going to die. I just don't see how this guy dies. There's no death cap on his ear for, like, hyper-scaling. You kind of need huge shred from the Rumble into Karis damage, and then he still needs to be out of position and, you know, not omni-vamping. I wonder... You know what, guys? I wonder, for WE, the only way they win is through a backdoor through that top lane wave. Hoya takes some damage, Monkey takes more, and Ocean Soul's the thing. Yeah, folks, I actually wonder whether WE try and go for a backdoor. I just don't think they can win from this position. They might be... There are 2 inhibs to take, I suppose. E out for danger from about. Jumping onto Monkey again. He does have flash. The redemption is there. He actually dodges his own redemption. Equalizer's used. Remember that, you know, Ocean Soul is ticking on many of these members. Asim can just walk forwards and put on the afterburn. He's doing a lot of damage, actually. It's not bad. And there's no damage back. Karis could look for a sweep. Flash away from the Rumble. NIP are winning out on the HP trades. Of course they are. They got the Ocean Soul. Karis puts up the tower behind them. NIP have the last of that Baron buff. They'll fall off there. They will take the inhib turret. We are well and truly into the smoke and mirrors. This is not normal League of Legends, not normal macro. Okay, damage from about there. Just against the Ocean Soul. Such a pain in the butt. No Mundo ult. Nah, it's a problem. Mundo don't be having that ult. And this Elder could decide the entire game. Still, Shockwave available. Azir Shuffle available. I don't even think a god like Azir Shuffle changes that much. Hoya teleports right into the middle of him, but he has the roll quest teleport to shield. He's unkillable. He's completely unkillable. Like, he just has too many shields to it. Shielding. Jago's out of position. Asim tries to take him down, but he'll flash away. Now WE are walking with the wave towards the enemy base. The shockwave, it's flashed forwards by Hoya. Karis is caught out again. Needs to sweep them back and stop. Baguan will go down. Karis needs to survive. He cannot afford to die at this point. He's trying to take down Gorn, but they just can't kill him. It's too close. It's so close. No one has died for like the last 2 minutes, and I feel like that we've been robbed of those kills. Oh my god, Karis just about living. The GA being blown on Jarvan. Well, that's something. That is something for W. And now, hang on. And now, guys, NIP have been forced away from the dragon. There is still a ward in this brush. I hope you realize that. They do not realize that, in fact. Good damage. The Bloodletter really shredding the magic resist to allow a bit more damage there. Karis, remember, no Zhonya's. Karis, you can't be positioning like that. It's so risky. Asim has flash as well. I'm actually quite worried if Asim just flashes on Karis. He might just insta-kill him. Gaio's back into play. There's a huge wave in top lane inhib, by the way, for NIP. There's the same one on the bot lane for WE. No teleport for Azir to go. Yeah, they're actually losing top lane inhib as we speak at this point. But it's Elder. You have to stick around for this cube. Does have the equalizer back up now. Does he try and drop it across the team again? He needs to time it well. It's not bad. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. Let's see if he tries to put down the equalizer. He could actually equalize and then try and teleport to the base. No, he's going for the fight. Not the best equalizer. Doesn't really tank you want. Oh, Monkey has really low HP again. Care almost dead though to Karis. Karis done some great damage there. Soon it's going forward. The wall growth comes through. Karis is down. Karis is down. Cube. He's not in the play either. What's he doing? WE, they just don't have the position for this. This is all down to the smite. Yayo gets caught. About's coming forwards and he's going to try and dash out of the play. He's getting decent damage and the Onivia saves him. Hang on, with the jungler dead. Guys, with the jungler dead, there's no smite for the Elder. There's no smite for the Elder. WE, they can take the objective. Cube just needs to live a little longer. He'll get access to it. Guys, finish the dragon! Finish the damn dragon! He'll go down. And how many people are left alive? We have 2 people on each team. The Elder Dragon can stop him as well. Monkey's threatening the kill! And WE, despite being against Yeah, despite being against the Ocean Soul, despite being down almost all of this game, will clutch through the Elder Dragon. And folks, I think they're just going to win the game. They will. They're just going to win the game. About lives to tell the tale. Guon tries to assassinate him in the dragon fight. They fail. And NIP, despite getting the Ocean Soul, will lose game 1. God, that was one of the strangest games I've seen in a while. Yeah, well, welcome to Group Perseverance, folks. Okay. How the draft makes you feel. Vi first pick after a bunch of things were banned. The Zero Ion are gone, Rumble's gone too, no Varus, no Yunara, no Nico. Yeah, a lot of our power picks have gone, I suppose. There's stuff like Talia, which is now quite important on both sides. Vi Ahri is now open up as well for NIP. So if Karis takes the Talia into the Vi to take it away, chances are you're going to run into a Care Ahri. He might go a Kali, you know, or Aurora. Both of them are fine. The Aurora's good into the Ahri lane matchup, less good into the Talia. So maybe this is Karis saying, you can pick the... If I pick Aurora, at least I'm dealing with the Ahri potential. Also, Care could also go. You know, could go for the thing as well. My brain just stopped working there for a second because I have no idea what happened. He's like, oh, you might just go for the Ahri anyway, and I'll beat it. That's the one. Okay, Wukong comes through. So, do you go for the Ahri, take the losing lane matchup, and just pick the champion you're better at? I think Care should pick the Ahri. He's really good at it. Why not? He's good at it. There you go. Renekton, Ahri, Vi. That is like prime BLG 24 topside. 23, yeah, 24 topside. Ooh, I really like the idea of the cannon, you know. Unless you want to take the Aurora top lane. But I think you just chuck the... Yeah, whatever. Sion's fine. Sion's fine. Good front line. By the way, both teams have engaged. Incredible. Wonderful. That's good news, everyone. Good news, everyone. Dawn had a bit of a rough game last time. Not awful, but it definitely wasn't what we wanted to see from the player. Kai'Sa, Alistar banned, Rakan, anything else that really sticks out here? Rakan's very good with the Shinzao, no surprise there. There's stuff like Misfortune, which is probably... is it good for WE? Yeah, it's not bad for W here, actually. Lane dominant. Sivir banned away. Okay, so WE, they could look for, like, winning lane with Misfortune, go for, like, a really big one, but Corki's probably better in kind of providing both safe laning phase, but then also having some ability to get away from the Vi. I will say, quite enjoy playing into the Corki as Ahri. Ahri can one-shot Corki most of the time. And, now Misfortune opened by WE. Now, if you do this, it's pretty good in lane versus the Corki. Pretty bad against Sion, in general. Hey, Monkey, how's it going? So it is going to be the Misfortune. Now, what do you go? Do you go Rel, Leona? Rel's probably the safe one. There you go. Last pick to end it out. So, again, you're probably running into a bit of a lack of engage right now. You could go Nautilus. Nautilus is fine here, I think. Helps with some of the mobility issues. Braum's okay into the... Yeah, Braum's pretty good, Hitsy. Yeah, I don't mind that. That's good. Yeah, Braum's fine because there's, like, so many melees jumping into you that you get value that way. Even if it's typically not as good. Okay, so these are our full drafts. NIP way more proactive this time. Way more proactive. Inside of WE, a lot of anti-melee engage. Oh, I need to... I don't know whether my ads have refreshed, but I should run like a 1-minute ad now before we get into game. Otherwise, we might have a couple of issues. Oh, it's too soon. Okay, our ads happened too close before. Whatever, that's all good. No worries. No worries, we should be fine then. Okay, let's get ourselves into that game. WE, much better frontline. NIP, much better engaged than the last game. Monkey on the monkey. Thing is that last year he was actually really not successful on the Wukong. Wukong was not a good pick for him last year. Okay, onto the rift. See how this gyres. Okay, the early fight on that bot side. Oh my god, I had acupuncturist for the first time in forever, and I had that. Oh my god, I completely bombed it. Okay, whatever, it's all good. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, fine. This one is very dead. All good. It's fine, it's okay. Dumbass event. Okay, right, into this early lane. Rel crashing down. Early, barrier blown early by about as well. By the way, Sam, if you're still in chat, can I get a coffee? Can I order that through the stream? Hang on, Go's looking for the steal. He's gonna get it as well. He hit in the brush, went for that raptor and he took it. He went raptors into hop over the wall and he stole a gromp. Oh god, that's so mean. You know, we were speaking earlier about, you know, it's quite easy to miss early level 1 invades and stuff. I just didn't look at the minimap. And again, it turns out it can happen quite easily. Okay, so we went raptors, went for the invade. Oh my god. Okay, that's funny as heck. That's funny as heck. Damn. Goes over. Takes the blast gun. He hides over the wall. So he makes sure he hugs the vision in the right way too. That's so funny. Okay, so now that's a camp up. He's gonna be, you know, he's gonna be slower to take his own camps. He's only on his second camp in his own jungle, whereas, you know, now what might happen now is Monkey might go for a bot side invade, but oh, of course you can't because you're losing bot lane. So what do you do there? Because you're losing bot lane. That's gonna suck for trying to get your camps back. Not bad for camp. Ooh, misses dodges out on the dash cannon as well. So like, About's coming back to lane now. Can they get a handle on the bot lane before the last of the bot side camps is taken by Guon? Because what I would imagine Monkey wants to do is run over and contest Gromp. Because otherwise he'll just be a camp down. Does he go for bot scuttle first? Yeah, he does. He's going for bot scuttle. Pause in the game. Not sure exactly who's triggered that one. I can't believe I had an acupuncturist event and I completely screwed it. Oh my god, that's bad. That's really quite bad. Monkey paused, he didn't get Gromp. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I really hope it's not the thing which happened in LEC the other day where the Wukong clone took Scuttle and it denied him XP and gold. I really hope it's not that. We didn't see it on stage. I just know that it happened to, it did happen to, Yike the other day. And now we wait. And now we wait. Okay. And so we wait again. I don't really know what to say about the game so far. I mean, not much has happened, so... Well, the early invade from Bjorn obviously works out. Sorry, folks, I'm really tired today. It's been a long-ass week, actually. Long-ass week. Do you think Bjorn is God? No, I think they're a League of Legends player. Thou shalt not worship idols. In fact, I resent thee besmirching the image of God Guo by trying to associate them with God Guon. I think that's just cruel and unusual. You know, what's the grasshopper got to do with this? Can't we let them rest in peace? Poor grasshopper. US dyslexia. No, they did. I don't believe that they've been possessed by a grasshopper. I don't believe that is the case. I don't even know what this has been paused for. You know, most of the time I've got a fairly solid idea. The only thing I can think of is, oh dear, you know, it's WE. It looks. I think it was WE that paused it. I think. But yeah, my worry is that... Oh, hang on, what's this? Yao Yao's paused. Yao Yao's paused. Can anyone quickly translate that, please? Oh, I think it's a headset being changed now. I literally just saw someone running off with a headset. I think it's a headset change. Probably just, probably peripherals then. Okay, I'm gonna have to run like a minute advert so we don't get issues when we get, because if this goes late game again, then we're gonna have issues towards the end of the game. So I'm gonna do that now. So I'm gonna run a minute advert on Twitch. Do you find it quite interesting how NIP has not faced TT yet? I'd imagine a lot of that's due to travel schedule. Imagine a lot of that's due to travel schedule. Because, you know, you have to travel between, what, 5 different locations, depending on who's on you. Well, not 5 different locations, but you have to travel between Shanghai, well, in this case, because we have 2 teams with 2 arenas in this group. You know, we have Xi'an for WE, you have Shenzhen for NIP, you've got, in fact, actually, a lot of the other teams were traveling to Suzhou for LNG's arena. That was a thing which happened, actually. So a lot of the games were taking place in Suzhou. I think because there's 3 groups now, it means that different teams go to like different arenas. Even when it's not really that, even when they wouldn't, it's more like a, you know, like LNG teams will be playing in LNG's arena, even though they aren't, and LNG aren't playing, you know. Chaos draft? I don't know what that means by chaos draft. Oh, MTG. Right, okay. Oh, they're changing out so many headsets now. It can't take that long to do it, can it? Has anyone translated that, by the way? I didn't see if anyone wrote it in chat. Okay, fine. I will do the translation on the text, as no one else is doing it. Do it myself. Strong independent streamer. So what you do is you take a screenshot and you put it into like translate. I just realized that my YouTube stream has stopped as well, but then again, it wasn't a pause, so who cares, really? All good. Okay, what does that say? I hope this isn't an actual bug. This is going on too long for it to be just peripherals. And let me translate this. Okay. So what it's saying is, oh no, it did have. So Yaya had a problem with equipment. They're testing and investigating the issue. So it is actually a hardware issue. It is a hardware issue. Okay, cool. Oh, what's the annoying sec? Or whatever. Whoa, if that was your job, Enjoying, then you would have translated it before I had to. Yeah, no? It's alright. What do I pay you all for? To be paid chatters, you know? Never claimed to be good at your job. Oh my god. Okay, fair play. Fair play. Fair play! No, you didn't. Yeah, fair play. Oh my god, I can't. Maybe it's something that they have to change out the whole. Maybe they have to change out something like the whole PC. Maybe that's why it's taking so long. Sometimes they actually do have to change out the whole PC. If there are certain issues. Hey, back into game. There we go. Cool. Alright, back into game. What happened? So, Bot Skull's been taking my monkey. Remember, he got invaded level 1. Now, is he going to try for a double scuttle? Looks like. So, he's lost that grump early on. Lost the gramp. He's going to try for the double scuttle. Now, if he can get there quickly enough, and that E will help there, if he can get there quickly enough, Guon won't be there in time to smite. Now, Renekton might wander down, because Renekton has lane push. Ari teleported in as well, but because if it becomes a double scuttle, then actually the camp steal earlier on for Guon means nothing. It actually does, it's evened up completely. Yeah, Monkey gets this top scuttle, so in fact, actually, Monkey's completely fine. In fact, what happened was Guon slowed his own clear And now there's Scuttle on both sides of the road. So actually, that earlier play from Guwon means much less than it could have done. Now, I would have thought with the early pushing... why ran IP on red side again? Because I guess they had side choice in the first game, and then because they lost, they had side choice in the second game. That'd be what I'd imagine it's because of. Okay, so go on back out onto the map. Again, very even between the two junglers now, actually. He's going for a Raptor evade. Not bad from not bad for him, so he can get himself into the camp, get himself back to even, I suppose. Wait, hang on. I actually completely missed. Was there a Raptor invade from Monkey there as well on second clear? There was a ward put down. I don't think there was. Maybe there was, actually. Hang on. Potential jumping towards mid lane. Good champ. Very good champ. But Karis does have the invis. Flashes away from the crash down. Does he have E? He does! Great escape by Karis. No, the charm was great, but... No, I don't... Yeah, I guess the full CC just didn't land. Monkey can now come into... Oh my god, if Monkey actually ends up sticking around to get some XP from here too, he's very happy with that. But yeah, for this year, I know it's a little confusing, but hang on a second. Ult straight for ults and topside. Not bad from Cube there, actually. He'll take that. But yeah, effectively, folks, effectively. Because side of map and first pick have now been separated in draft, you will see first pick on red side a lot, because most people prefer playing on blue side, and most people prefer first pick. Not all the time, but you'll see a lot of first pick on red side now. It's actually very confusing. I'm not sure they'll keep it for beyond winter split, 'cause it's an experimental change. I don't know if they'll keep it, because it is actually really quite annoying. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Go on, heading bot side. Does have that level 6. They could really go for a heavy dive here, potentially. Okay. So we're trying to activate that Brawn passive. If they stick around too long for it, then Goron would have wrapped around. They don't stick around for it, though. Perhaps realizing the danger. Goron's been very active in this early game again. Another Raptor steal. This time it's on visions. They'll spot that. Yeah, the junglers have ended up becoming quite even in this game again. Hey, good charm once again. He's playing the matchup fairly well. I normally consider this a losing matchup, as I was saying. Dragon, not up for a while. Sorry, again, spacing out. Monkey, going into the enemy side of the jungle. You can get a camp steal away here. He's really happy. He spots him. I can maybe go for the dive here too. Does have both ult and that barrier. That's not a great shield. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's going to go down. Killed by about... On the other side, it's grub started by Guwon. Now, I do wonder whether Monkey can actually get into the bot side camps. If you can get into bot side camps, take blue buff. If you can take the full bot side, he is really, really happy. I feel like in this kind of game, you know, a strong Wukong just does nasty stuff. No one can really stop the Wukong. That's why they're contesting it. Hair's coming down. Ooh, nice clone away there. Should be able to get this down. If he doesn't need to use the smite, you can save the smite to use on something like Gromp instead if it really comes around to it. Another missed charm, actually. Care getting a little bit outplayed by Monkey so far. Seen coming down, doesn't have the bullet time. Guon's coming down, has his ults. Double up's not bad. WE might have gone too far for this. Great shield, but Care gets beyond it. One last charge, and I don't think it'll be enough. Flashes, tries to get the outplay, but Yao Yao outplays him with the shield, destroys the projectiles flying towards Monkey. And they do manage to... They lose a blue buff for that, and of course the bot lane kill earlier. But they do manage to protect some other bot lane camps. Which honestly, could have gone a lot worse for them. Okay, so this is the play here. Watch how close this gets, because Cat tries to flash over. The clone was there anyway, and the shield makes it even harder. I think that stopped some of the ult damage. No, he was invisible. No, I actually... But funnily enough, I actually don't think that shield is the thing which saves him, because he's already invisible, which means that a lot of the things flying towards him wouldn't have mattered anyway. Dragon in 30 seconds now. It would be, sure, something actually for W to bounce back and get a 2-0 after the close defeat they had against NIP just the other day. I think particularly Monkey in this game. Oh, wait, hang on. Monkey's gone for Profane Hydra, by the way. I didn't realize that. He's gone for the lethality. He really wants to one-shot. That's something. It's not about the extended trades, then it's about more damage. I suppose when you've got a Braum and a Scion, you feel like you need a little bit more, but hang on, he's jumping over the wall. Hang on, Monkey just killed him here. Again, he's got the Profane Hydra. We're just saying, that's a whole lot of damage. Right, has Flash. Braum passive put onto him. It's going to get stunned anyway. Thought he could get away without it. Can't get the Magna Storm in time. Jumping forwards onto the Wukong again. It's good damage onto him this time, and Guon's going to get the damage down onto him. Karis getting that that passive down. Braum shield. Hang on, I reckon Karis can kill here. He doesn't get stunned. Cap walking away with a kill. 2 stacks on the Dark Seal now. Monkey very nearly walking away with a good double kill there, but a good turnaround from Guon and Cap. Sees them winning out the trade. Well, this jungle matchup, again, continues to really deliver here. I think that Monkey and Guon, actually in both games, actually. Well, no, first game I think Monkey struggled a little bit, until late game when he was much better. But I think that particularly in this game, Guon and Monkey have done very well at kind of assessing each other's power. Guon doesn't have ult for this one. Smite fight over the scuttle, potentially jumping back. Not bad from Karis, gets the... You're fighting onto the... oh, hang on a second. That's a lot of damage put into a clone. Monkey is very squishy with this build. You're fighting into a Braum shield. I think that's going to be enough to buy them the dragon. Now, that bullet time was really nasty there. Cube teleporting behind. Now a lot of those ults were used. Yayo just goes down immediately. Guon finished off by about, though. 2 low HP on the Vi. Hoya strong at this point in the game. Karis no ults. Doesn't matter. Dro ends up going down to the burn of the Liandry's anyway. About's gone too far. Wall forwards, and Monkey's just still so squishy. Hoya the one to carry this fight, actually. Care has his ult again. Could potentially look for the kill with the red buff slow as well. His ult's only up in 5 seconds, though. And Karis' ult coming up at a similar time. Doesn't want to chance things. I really like, by the way, that Care didn't go for the early Malignance, went for the Dark Seal instead. Well, I mean, the Malignance is still coming, but he's got 5 stacks on the Dark Seal now. He's really, really strong. Yao Yao is not nearly tanky enough to do this. He walks up, shields late, dies. So what happens with About here? Because I would have thought he would have just run over this fight at this point. Don't tell me he just walked melee range of a Renekton. He gets hit by an REQ and walks melee range of a Renekton. That is, in fact, indeed what happens. And then he gets... Corki walks melee range of a Renekton, gets charmed and dies. by the Ari that's standing next to him. That's really bad from about. That's really, really bad from about. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. So what that means now, gold's gone back to even. Mid laners are both very fed now with 2 kills apiece. Dark Seal to Care with 5 stacks means that he's a little stronger still, actually, because that's an extra 20 AP, which is an extra 400 gold. Hey, TFC. And now Hoya is very happy too. 102, almost 1,000 gold up. He's very happy, actually. Dragon wasn't killed, by the way. So that's going to be taken now. Oh, this is the Atakan. Atakan is now gone. Yeah. However, Baron has changed, by the way, where effectively the gold you get from killing Baron is actually much less now. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but that is a thing, actually. Chunk onto Hoya. Monkey's behind him. Reminder, he does have the Profane Hydra for good burst. He's quite squishy, though, actually. Does it matter? Well, it means he uses the Cyclone. Long pass it comes through. I forgot Red Monkey dies there. I think this Propane Hydra build might actually end up losing in the game. It might actually end up losing in the game. Oh dear. That Profane Hydra. I just think if he goes Triforce, isn't he just much more happy? I don't know. I don't know. Isn't he just more happy if he does that? I'm surprised he went for that. Not really sure what the... Maybe he's got some read on the matchup, of course. Hang on, Karis getting jumped onto, uses his ult to escape it. Really well played from Karis. That's how you survive as the Aurora versus the Vi. If you hop into the wall of your ult as the Vi flies towards you, you can escape it. Very well played. That should have been a free death. Gets out and even gets to survive with a lot of HP, so he can stay in top lane. Very well played. Empowered recall. Oh my god, going for the kill combo. Close. If he gets the full combo, he probably does kill that. Herald now on top side. He does have the empowered recall. He's trying to teleport out instead. No, the charm doesn't quite land. Great escape from Karis. Honestly, playing on the weak side there, he probably deserved a death. Survives, though. Very well played. Very well played from Karis. Herald goes into top side, though. NIP is still using that well. Mid lane, though, now left undefended. Q1 no ults. Shields used to protect... Well, it was meant to used to protect the wave. It wasn't because he doesn't get the shield up in the right time, which is for sure something which happened. Yep. Well, Kaz down on bot side now. Q1, flashing away from Monkey. The Herald top side helps, right? Because it gives them some gold, but it was a lot of time spent not achieving as much as they could have done. Slight gold lead to NIP. I do worry for them a bit though. I do. I don't know why. I do. Maybe the Profane Hydra on the Wukong's giving me a bit more hope for them. Maybe it is, but plates off here on the top side. That was the full crystallization block actually, because they hadn't touched that turret the entire game. You can tell from the HP. Hoya's playing pretty well though on an item. Jesus Christ, the damage! That's with the Stark second item. Yeah, this Profane Hydra might well lose them the game. That Magnet Storm was very bad. Monkey is going to... Monkey, what are you doing? What is happening here? He flashes and dies anyway. He was always going to die there. Hey, Zerk, good to see you. Mid lane turret will fall. That's a victory for WE. No bullet time to protect it this time. No, it doesn't even die. Huh, I'm surprised. He has Triforce. I thought that would have been enough. Doesn't get it, though. So mid lane turret doesn't even fall. Care does have ult. Misses the charm. Karras plays well, often in his team that holds him back. Well, if you look at last year, I think that he wasn't great. But I think this year he's been pretty good. But last year it was mainly just Monkey carrying the team. A little bit of Vampire as well, but mainly Monkey. Guten Abend? Yeah, that works. Guten Tag. Abend is evening, so that's not, Morgan. It'll be morning for me. It's like 12. Okay, Dragon started up. Reminder, Monkey has Triforce now, so he actually has he has the HP now. Dragon's going down. Doesn't have the Sundered Sky, of course. There is a bullet. Hang on a second. Here comes the engage. That's a very good angle from Hoya, though. So to get the Brawn passive onto him. Flash is expended on the other side of the fight. Cube is still quite a nasty frontliner. Hoya's waiting for his cooldowns. He does have Flash. That could be dragging it out, actually. Surprised that was so easy. Hang on, might go into care. Hit. Yao. He's gonna have to jump over the wall with his W. Does he have it off cooldown? Yes, he does. Okay. Bit of a messy retreat. Now, that does leave open mid lane turret. Mid lane turret did die, by the way, for NIP. W managed to take that cube. Buddy, you're at a what? This is such a disrespectful path to take back towards mid lane. Yes, you're tanky, but you're not indestructible. Cube goes down. WE, a mess of a game 2 so far. About trying to clear out the wave, and he will just about be able to do so before it... Well, there are 3 grubs. I actually wonder whether DOT would be a problem here. That's a catch on to Care. Doesn't have Flash, does have ult. Half a stage. Bloody hell, that's a lot of damage. Burn from the Leandries and the Electrocute proc afterwards. Yao. Does tag that passive. And the mid lane turret does survive, actually. Well, Care now has himself a Shadow Flame second. I have to say, I think it would have been better to go towards the Leandry second in this game, because there's a lot of HP builders that you want to get the best of, and you are sole AP. It's not like they're building magic resist, not that much anyway, but the Leandrys does have huge value. Mid lane turret, is it finally going to fall here? I presume it is. Maybe About could have walked up and wave cleared. Monkey's going to walk into Care, trying to, yeah, do that. Dash away from the charm. Have to be very quick on the reaction timer, actually, if the Wukong coming at you. You need to basically hit your charm before he actually reaches you with his E, which is not a quick reaction window. Not a slow one, rather. It is a quick reaction window. Yeah, you're going to find Guon. He's maybe out of position now. Does have Flash. Does have the shield. Magnet Storm used. That might be too far. Bullet time is not really in range, and Guon goes down. I think he thought he'd have a little bit more support there, but he goes too deep and a misjudged engage. Hoya goes down too. By the way, Baron is available. This might be Baron. No? Isn't this just Baron? You've got a Scion to tank it. There's no bullet time. No, that's a huge mistake from NIP. A huge botched engage. They thought they'd be able to CC About into the bullet time. That was not the case. Karras is now on the flank. Charm flashed away from. Flash for Flash. Scion, you got to stay on the Baron itself. I think you do. Quite dangerous to actually leave this open like that. WE will take the Baron, and NIP, they fumble this most important fight of the game so far, honestly. Gaia puts up the shield. I think they think that About will be CC'd into the bullet time. So what happens here? Charm in the front line, and there's no CC afterwards because the Clone Cyclone is so good for Monkey there. And then the response from W is really good. They peel back around the Corki. The fight fails. Dragon in a minute. That's a lot of gold, and that's a lot of gold and resources to give over to WE. Now, I think Kair's actually played pretty well on the Ahri. I just think that NIP, I think particularly Draw's having a bit of a bad one on the Rel. And I think that Guwon on the Vi has been... his angles needed to be a bit better. Again, when you're the Vi in a competition like this, you are so important to your team. I think Guwon's actually... You know, he's been very ambitious this game, which I don't think is necessarily a problem. But you can see in fights like that, when the CC chain doesn't quite land, you're the one that ends up looking quite bad because you die. And then if you die as a jungler, it's just awful. I think if you die as a jungler, I think the two most important people to kill in the game is an AD carry and a jungler. You can't win team fights without an AD carry. And you can't win objectives without a jungler. And in pro... Hang on, they might be able to jump onto Karis here. This might be his redemption move. Oh, it's a really good escape. Almost goes down, though. Takes 3 ultimates. Almost missed from Guwon. Jumping forwards now. Hoya is really not happy with that at all. Not bad, Glacial. Well, no, it's actually pretty bad. I thought he thought he would be a bit more safe. They care over the wall, spot on the blue trinket. 4v5. You know what? With all the ults down, I actually think WE can take this. No bullet time, no threat onto a battle. I actually think that WE can win this now. Now look at this. NIP, they have to back off. Dragon's available. Hoya going forwards onto Monkey. That's the Cyclone onto the back of things, but he dies before it really makes that much of a difference. About is still alive. Everyone's in melee. Everyone's in melee. Misfortune dies. Guwon's trying to carry things himself. And Cube is the last one available. About went melee as the Corki again, and NIP find themselves a win in the fight. Even in the 4v5, W thought they could take it. I thought they did too. But I am mistaken. NIP will get themselves the fight and get themselves the dragon after. It's a mess. Everyone going melee. Once again, Monkey being punished for going into melee range. It is a problem. It is a big problem. So we'll watch this again. Look, Karis gets caught. He is too far away. There's a vision pocket well exploited by Guwon. This is a great angle. It does, however, take a bunch of resources, flashes and ults. And that's when you think, well, okay, Hoya's now down into very low HP. This is probably a one-fight scenario. Especially when you have like a flash Monkey cycle and you think, well, that'll be the big change. Monkey makes a huge mistake after this point, getting too close to the Renekton, allowing the flash Dumbo. Cube very nearly saves his life. Cumbo? No, the combo is what I meant to say. And then About goes melee. What the heck is About doing? I mean, I guess he trades his life. Even then, he puts an auto attack behind him. Gets flipped over the shoulder. Oh, About. Come on. That is such a risky play. I mean, Hoya does a great job of recovering what was a very difficult start there. About finds, well, Hoya finds About again, and About dies once more. Really well played in the last few fights from Hoya. I mean, recovered what was a very difficult start. Monkey's died too. Reminder, folks, that WE were the ones with the Baron before this point. They've now lost that. They have now lost that. What a mess from WE. I thought they were in a winning position. And indeed they should have been. Indeed they should have been. Pretty bad game from Monkey, actually, towards the late game. Again, I think the problem of having no Sundered Sky instead going for the Profane Hydra means that he's just very squishy. Very, very squishy. Hang on, that's not a bad combo, though. Karis is actually part of the fight this time. He wasn't before. So he will die here. How much extra work can Karis do? It's a game of throws. It's a game of throws, and I'm not sure the Song of the Ice and Firestorm coming out of the Zeeks will make it any more appetizing for NIP. Get back to right in the Windsor Windsor. You can do that while you're on the fountain. NIP lose multiple members as they take their time to throw this time. Bad overpush. Turns out when Hoya's not there, they can run into issues. So what happens here? I mean, About is still dead. Monkey is still... Folks, this is a 3v4 and they lose it. Good angle from Cube. Very good ult from Karis onto pretty much everyone there. Guwon misses the Q onto Karis, which might have helped, but I don't think it saves the fight. It's just awkward, right? Group Persevere has got some work to do, folks. Our middle group here in the LPL. Okay, so NIP are on Soul Point. It is only not Cloud Soul, it's only the Chemtech Soul, so it could actually be a lot worse for WE with that. Abouts on 3 items, so is Assume. Kerr is going for the Zhonya's third, interestingly. Karis is also going for the Zhonya's. That one matters a lot more into the Vi ultimate. Monkey has a Sterax now, so he might actually be able to survive the initial engage. Oh my god, he actually might be able to survive the initial engage now. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, I tell you. Are we going to get 3 games of this, folks? Are NIP going to be able to close this out with the lead that they have? Hoya's on the flank. That's not bad. Guwon! Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Does he die to any kind of burn? Presumably there was some burn from Karis on the Leandries there. He's basically out of the play. Tries to ward, gets caught out. Assume doesn't have flash still. He still doesn't have flash. Assume's going to die as well. Guwon loses flash, has to leave the pit. Hoya was looking for the flank angle. Guwon and then Assume both making big miss positions, which WE pounce on very quickly. Good punish from them. Guwon's recall does have the GA, is back with HP now. Hang on a second, the solo laners are going in towards mid lane while Guwon looks for the steal. No one's recalling from WE, I don't think. He's going to need the mid lane inhibitor, threatened by Kerr. Monkey over the wall, spots out Guwon. Karis is trying to one-shot him again, by the way. That will secure the Baron. No chances played with that. 45 seconds to hold the dragon afterwards. Monkey goes in for a trade onto draw. That's not a great cyclone there, friend. That's really not a great cyclone. But whatever. Kerr is now being stopped from recalling. Dragon in 30 seconds. Because the cyclone's now been used, that won't be available for that fight. Most interesting. Karis uses ultimate 2 to secure the Baron. So what do? Do they push out lanes and try and stop NIP from getting to the dragon in the first place? Maybe that's the play. Oh dear. Strange game, folks. Guwon's had, you know, a lot of responsibility put onto his shoulders. That catch before the last dragon was so important. This time, giving up the Baron by mispositioning the back of it. Assume, does he have flash backup? He does have flash backup now, that's important. No Between Worlds though, no Cyclone. Dragon started without those ultimates. I don't think WE win without the ultimates. Hoya's got that ultimate running himself. He's now going to be spotted on the backline. I think WE need to... Oh my god, Kez has exploded! Kez been exploded. However, Hoya gets onto the backline. Kez still doesn't have the ultimate for this part of the fight. Assume might decide to Monkey! Monkey does manage to take the kill onto the AD carry, but at what cost? Does take another one down with him. It's only Hoya Cube left alive. NIP win the fight. WE's overuse of ultimates before this play mean that they can't take the fight at the dragon itself. They didn't have the resources to win through the fight, and I think NIP will walk away with the dragon. Baron also completely wiped from the table. WE, they were given a gift of that Baron. They've thrown it right back, and the soul will still go to NIP. It will still go to NIP. You know, Hoya had a great flank. Hoya's been playing very, very well this game, folks, on the Renekton. He is, so far, the most impactful individual member across the entire game. He manages to stack up his rage here with the ultimate and get right onto the Corki. Kerr gets exploded. It's not a bad engage there from Guwon either. Between Guwon and Hoya, they managed to destroy the Corki, and now there is that Chemtech Soul in place. I just think NIP, I think that NIP, they're playing around the Renekton very well, but I think WE on the other side, you can't go melee range into this comp like that. You can't just send your Corki melee range. He has 4 items now, the Infinity Edge. Now, this is a powerful Corki, but About is really not playing out this game particularly effectively. And I have to say, the ultimates used before that point really came back to bite them, didn't they? So now the gold is in NIP's favor a little bit more. They have that soul. No Baron on the table. Hey, sorry, how's it going? How are we all doing? Well, this game's been questionable. The last one went to an Elder Dragon as well, because the lack of engage kind of ended up extending the game a fair amount. I still think that WE are technically more... I think they scale better. You know, they got the Scion, right? I feel like they scale better. I feel like they should, anyway. You're predicted to get 50 centimeters of snow today? Oh my god, that's insane. Okay, Elder in 4 minutes. Baron into WE. They should be scaling better, realistically. You know, I think that the Aurora tends to be better than the Ahri in the late game. Even though Ahri is pretty good late game scaling champion, but you really need a death cap for that for Ahri, and she doesn't have that. It's not part of the build right now. Karis on the other side does have that Zhonya's, which will help versus the Vi. I know that Ahri also has the Zhonya's, but realistically, you know, the Zhonya's on the Aurora is more important. Guwon looking to put down... You want to do a bit of vision control. Spotted on the Krugs here. Not going to lead to much. No one else on the same side of the map to punish. Looks like a Bao is heading towards a shield bow last item. I got to get rid of that advert. Assume, of course, at a very high levels of power as well, 100% crits. He's actually, hang on, yeah, he's almost at 100% crit. The Bloodthirst, yeah, Bloodthirst is not crit. Yeah, just see the amount of items. Nearly there, though. Pretty much at like 90. Hang on, that's a good flank angle, isn't it? Guwon's right behind them. Oh, Guwon. Oh, Guwon, you beauty. Goes onto the Corki, but the flash is great. The flash is really good, and it means that the ultimate doesn't the bullet time doesn't actually do as much. Teleport coming behind from the Aurora now. How much can they do before everyone's dead, though? Does have the ultimate, trying to jump onto Care. Does get the last of the ult. Drops that ult. He drops the ult, and he's going to die, though. The engage does work from NIP. W weren't expecting it, and folks, we're going to go to 3 games in our first series. Oh boy, NIP just a little better at these fights late game, and about on the Corki just could not remain safe, partly by his own fault, partly because of Guwon's great ults onto him. A mixed game for both teams. I think NIP probably should have found an easier way to a victory after some of the fights which WE had. About going melee range definitely didn't help him. NIP take game 2, we'll be going to game 3. Certainly a game of all time, folks. Perseverance is a hell of a group, though. This is our middle group in the LPL, for those of you that don't know. Aphelios. Oh, Nymaera. Right. No, Nymaera's down, so why are we banning the Aphelios? I mean, Aphelios is pretty good in general, but I would have thought that there's still, like, Nocturne comps to play into it. You know, you could Nocturne into it. I guess maybe you think, Malphite's banned. There's no Vi. You're kind of pigeonholing yourself to play against the Aphelios in terms of the counters. And of course the Jace is perm banned too. No surprises there. Okay, so Ryze is that first pick. You got a choice of matchups now. You can Pantheon Taliyah, I think, for NIP. You can Onivia if you want to play it a bit more slowly. Hey, Shamrock, thank you so much for the Ko-fi donation. It really does make a difference. Yeah, and then of course there's the Cassiopeia as well. So there's Taliyah, there's Onivia, there's the Cassiopeia as well. Oh my gosh, Shamrock, you're very, very kind. Thank you so much for the donation onto Ko-fi. So the Cassiopeia, likely locked in. Okay, that is there. I think probably... Oh, that'd be a little different. Now, what you might do is say, look, you're angling for the Ryze Cassiopeia... No, for the Ryze Kiana. We're going to break up that combination. Why is that a strong combination? Ryze is point and click. CC for the Kiana to get a consistent combo. You don't want that to happen. It's too strong. So you take that away from the Ryze. It's very powerful. Sivir, Alistar, very strong bot lane pairing put in here, though. What do you do at this point? Because there's no... Hang on. So there's no Varus. There's no Misfortune. There's no Aphelios. There's no Ezreal Karma. You might have to look at something like... You might have to look at something like Kalista at this point to deal with that in bot lane. Assume and Draw are going to have to dig deep here. I mean, I presume Kai'Sa gets banned. Jax is banned away from Cube. The Nar's not locked in for Hoya. There's no Renekton either, so and there's no Cassante, so a lot of the more quote-unquote traditional top lane matchups into the Gnar are gone. Pantheon taken away from Monkey. Yeah, that makes sense. Good into the Kiana. Kai'Sa is banned. What else do you ban away? Do you ban away Kalista if they want to play lane pressure? Seam does play it. Guys, I might be crazy. I might be crazy. We actually might be in a position where Assume goes Vayne. Nautilus banned away. I think you can last pick Vayne. I think we're getting to that point. It's good into Ryze, great into Sivir, good into Alistar. We actually might be in a position where Vayne is a viable pick for Assume here if he really feels ballsy. You need to see the last two picks. You do need to see them, but there's a chance, folks. Just calling that out. I think you pick support here, and you last pick AD carry. It is the Kalista, though. Okay, so now you can go Kalista Renata. Or, well, you can even go like Kalista Taric or Kalista other things at that point. Viego's actually... Well, no, Kalista's quite... Oh, no, Viego's quite risky here. Viego's risky as hell. Because if you get onto the Cassiopeia miasma, you die. You just die. Well, I think that Cassiopeia is one of the best anti-Viego champions in the game. The Yorick is good into the Gnar. We did talk about the traditional counters largely being gone. I forgot about the Yorick, though. That one's pretty good. And now you have a Ryze who can ult up towards that lane. It's very good. The Ambassador comes through. That's another great pick through here, and it's very good versus the Cassiopeia. Folks, I'm not going to lie. I think this is a pretty heavy draft win for WE now. Personally, I saw a Vayne angle, and I think that Vayne could have been game-winning here. I genuinely think Vayne could have been game-winning. You look at these 5 champions. If you picked the support first here, and then you look at these 5 champions, which I think they would have locked these two in anyway, the Ambassador and the Yorick. I think Vayne kills this entire team. I think genuinely Vayne kills this entire team. I think this should have been a Vayne angle. It's crazy. I know, call me crazy. But, yeah. Okay, let's get ourselves into the last game. Okay, I think I finally got my combo working in this Champions Meet. Okay, folks, let's get ready for that last game, shall we? An interesting game. Capitalized int series, I suppose. I say Cassiopeia solo loses this game. I think in this game... Look, I think Cassiopeia's good, but not against this amount of point and click craziness. I think that if Ambessa ever reaches the Cassiopeia, it's a huge problem. Now, the Renata can save the game. Renata can save the game here. And that's what they'll be banking. They'll be banking on that, really. Okay, on to the rifts. Let's hear if we get any gyos. Level 1 wards place. And I got my first 4-win ticket of this Champions Meet. I'm happy with myself. Kara's trading well with autos here. It's really level 2 where it gets a little harder for the Ryze, because even though you can EQ, you know, Cassiopeia tags you with the Q and then you lose the traits. Assume got a decent history on the Kalista from mine. At least the eye test worked out pretty well for it. Heal used to get the extra movement speed to walk forwards and get auto attacks. Yaya using headbutt like a ranged auto attack. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's interesting. They're highlighting the fact that Ambessa skipped Gromp. Now, the thing is, Ambessa is not great at single target camps compared to AoE. Her strength in jungle is taking AoE camps, but she did skip Gromp. Does that mean that Monkey's going for an early bot side invade? Kiana on the other side did the Z tech, where you... Well, there's two things you do. You either very quickly clear your first camps, get a long sword after a recall, or you do the full recall... No, the full clear recall to get double longswords for first Scuttle Crab. Goes back out onto the map after buying a longsword, so it has way more combat stats. It is, for this point in the game, you absolutely do, right? So what's Ambessa doing here then? Now, I'm not as certain on... Maybe they think, okay, look, they have a Callista Renata. They want to invade. So by taking it a camp early, I think what Monkey's done is said, look, if I don't skip this camp, I will lose my red buff because they want to invade on the red buff timing. Because Callista Renata loves pushing lane and then invading into bot side jungle. Now, we'll see now if Guon wants to go across the river. But if Guon wants to go across the river, he doesn't. Though. I think that's basically just like a protective play from Monkey saying, this is the way that I can 100% protect my red buff. Now, you're going to lose the bot side scuttle crab, and they're not even going to bother fighting for it. Again, you're against the Callista Renata. You know you're losing bot side of the map. This kind of screws second clear? Yeah, it does. It really does screw second clear. You're absolutely right. No, because now your camps are going to be spawning in an odd order. Because basically, folks, what happens with jungle paths is you clear in your first clear the way that you want to be clearing for the rest of the game. Because it's quite hard to change the direction of your clear whilst not dropping farm gold. Both junglers walking into each other. Remember that Guon has that extra longsword. Going for the Raptor invade, though. First strike prot. Jumping forwards onto it. Again, remember, there is that longsword for Guon, which helps. Oh, big Raptor taken by Guon. Points and click. Guon might have to flash over the wall, and indeed he does. So flash for flash, Guon loses the big Raptor, so he's behind a little bit compared to where he would be. Nah uses this to go in and take the vision plant, see if there were any wards around there, and also remove some of the remove the removal of vision from WE, because, you know, using that vision plant protects Na's ward in top lane Pixel Brush now. Things calm down a little bit now. Guon will recall. Gets himself a pickaxe. That's pretty good. Good recall. That's a good recall for him. Monkey's still not done a recall, by the way. Hang on, what is Monkey gonna do about his clear, by the way? Because like his Gromp is gonna be consistently on just a desynchronized cooldown. Because at that point you have to delay all of your camps by like a minute to get them back in sync. Because then you have to delay them, then take them in that order, right? In the order you want. How's Monkey doing? Last game, he went Profane Hydra first on Wukong, and it made him so squishy that he was a loss condition because he'd be burst out at the start of every fight. So that wasn't great. First game... First game on Mundo, he was fine. Nothing special. I think that his pathing has largely been pretty good. It's just that some of his build decision-making, some of his teamfight decision-making has been a little bit off. Who cares about Gromp? Junglers, when they want to keep up an XP and gold. I care about Gromp. Gromp, I care about you. Especially against a Kiana as well. If you start dropping efficiency, Kiana just takes off with individual gold lead. Although we did see last night in LCS, actually, Hambak's first game on Sentinels, he kind of got a huge lead on Kiana and then got killed on repeat, so it didn't matter. Ooh, fight over top scuttle. Hoya's got the push first. Yorick's coming over. Guon doesn't have ult. Going for the water blade. Remember, no flash on the rise. He does have enough move speed from passive and ghost. Doesn't even use the passive, actually, to get out safely. Ooh, ult out of the fog of war. Monkey. I think he's very dead. And indeed he is. Nymaera went down. Couldn't flash out. Great run by Hoya. I tell you what, Hoya's having a good series today. Hoya is. I mean, his first game, yeah, his first game was a little bit more ropey, but I think that he's had a pretty... Last game, he was my player of the game. And I think right here, you know, gets control of this lane. After blind picking the Gnar, the Yorick was the counter pick into him. Gets that push, gets that first kill. Hoya, that's a bit of a graphical error, but it does get him under turret. Flash for flash used. Ren stack starting to get built up. Q still yet to be used. The Ren set off the minions, the reset. Shit happens. I mean, that's the thing about groups of Perseverance, right? Our middle group. I don't mind if teams don't have their shit together right now. That's okay. I need to see them build on it, though. You know, I need to see them grow. These are teams which are kind of meant to be put in for another spin of the wash cycle, see if they can come out cleaner than the last time. Let's have a look at these lanes. 10 CS in bot lane. 10-15 in top, 10 in mid lane. NIP getting a lot of gold just out of lanes, actually. And had the extra kill on that too, went to Hoya. Yao Yao on the roam as well. Yao Yao has teleport from his spellbook, just uses flash before. Dragon is available. I don't think W have any platform to play against this. Now this is good for the Kalista. Now the checklist of Kalista is win lane by a certain amount of CS, doing fine on that front, and also stack dragons. You've got that dragon stack now. So that's good. Your lanes are winning, you got that first dragon. It's not the fastest first dragon ever, but it's fine. Monkey now going up towards Grubs. Knows that he's spotted, but just has to kill this as quickly as possible. He needs to try and get one away at ASAP. Hopefully two. They are walking up towards it. Does he get one? He does. He has smite for a second one too, actually, if it gets contested. This might come down to a smite fight, actually. First one, no. Okay, he's backing off. Doesn't want to risk getting engaged onto. I understand why. Guon does have that ultimate too. So it's Dragon and 2 Grubs for NIP. So they win out on both objectives. On both sides of the map. Quite rare to see that, but they've picked in very good lanes. You know, the winning lane mid, top. Well, in fairness, they have like 3 winning lanes early on. It's later on that the Yorick becomes more of a problem for the NARP. Like 2 items is where, you know, NARP kind of gets a bit bonked. I have a very fond memory of Apperman, who is a top laner you may have realized from, he subbed in for Detonation Focus Me Worlds 24? Yeah, Worlds 24, last time they were there. And, oh shit, was it 23 even? Gosh, anyway, a while ago, because it might have been 23 actually. Sorry, it was 23, because that was the Toll 2 year when DFM treated him very poorly. Yeah, lost a lot of respect for those DFM coaches around then, actually. Different story, though. But, yeah, he way back in the day, back in, like, 2020, not way back in the day, but in 2020, he played a very fun Yorick game out of meta to, like, 1v2, like, Gragas lanes and stuff like that. It was very cool. Fond memories, though. It was my first year casting. W's comp is really bad. Perfect if they have Kai'Sa instead of Sivir. Yeah, the Kai'Sa was banned away. Well, actually, no, they ended up locking Sivir Alistar on 2-3, and they locked in the Ambessa Yorick on 4-5. Yeah. I was actually saying NIP, I think they could have... I think they actually had a Vayne angle for this game at that point of the draft. I think that Vayne would have been really fun. Although, I mean, look, the Kalista Renata is now doing its job, and I'm not gonna make bones about it now, but... Ooh, Dark Procession misses. Hoya hops away. No, not the wife! No, not the wife! Goodbye, maiden. Cassio 1v9s. I don't know if I agree with that, because you do have Ambessa being able to jump on them. If you have Sivir, Ryze, kind of like both ulting, then yeah, then you get something like this. Thank you for showing us the example. Cassiopeia, if there are flashes available, can kind of get blasted. Now, that's why later on into the game, you're going to need good play from Draw to make sure that the bailout and the ultimate are good enough to stop that from happening. I think on the whole, WE have got a very hard job ahead of them. If Cassiopeia is out of position or Draw doesn't have ult, though, it becomes a lot more playable. That play looks bad there in isolation, and it's really good gold to give over to Monkey and Karis as well. However, you know, once it gets into the grouped up team fights, you are going to have Kalista Renata peeling for you. Kalista's going to throw Renata at the first person that dives in, and then Renata's going to ult. You have so much in common with Cube. We're both maidenless. Oh my god. Hang on. Great double knock up there. The minion's cleared from under turret. There's a bailout, but I don't think it's going to matter. Awesome play from Yao Yao. Double flash knockup. One back into the tower. 3 summoners blown. Another combo coming through. He has the ult to dive. He can dive this with the ult. About, please don't cancel your autos there. Goes through. Tower aggro falls off. Clean double kill. Awesome 2v2 play. Now suddenly about 1,000 gold ahead. And we were just saying, oh, you know, it's a difficult game for W to play. But when you get double kill in bot lane in a losing lane, well, of course they're going to feel good about things. Go on, looking to maybe for a steal around here, but the blue buff is out of vision. Go on, might go for a bit of a combo onto the wall. Kair's walking over. Realm Warp from Karis. Remember, no flash on Monkey or Karis. Cube's walking on to Hoya. Level down right now. Trying to stop him from moving. Blue buff taken by Guon. No fight.
Is this like an LDL bot lane? So About came from LCK CL. Yao Yao. I seem to... I'm trying to remember... Yeah, he was LDL at some point. I'm trying to remember if it was BLG... BLG Junior. Let me look that up. About Yao Yao. Yeah, so About was on Genji Academy last year, and Yao Yao was... Oh, sorry, it was on TT Young. I knew what... A lot of players came in from BLG Junior, so I get surprised. But really good combo from Yao Yao. Really, really good. Great sidestep away from the ult there from About there too. Did have the spell shield, so it didn't matter too much. And then Yao Yao realizes, look, well, the kill on the Kalista gives the reset on the Sivir ult. So you do have the extra move speed, and the flash was used there. About does cancel the ult there, but doesn't end up changing anything. W resets come through. W resets, W kills. Yeah. Dragon started, NIP really do still need to keep stacking these. WE giving over a couple. NIP do get their 2 dragons, but NIP are now down gold in a game where they really should have been ahead of it. Monkey. Ooh, there's no flash on either of them now. Sivir ultimate. Can they get the combo? No. I think they could have waited a second longer there. Sivir ult now down. I like the angle. I think they do... Look, put it this way. I think WE are better in the split plays like this than they are in the team fights. I think in the team fights, Renata is going to be such a huge issue. I still favor NIP to win the 5v5s as it stands. Yeah, you're right. There's an Infernal Soul as well. Okay, and now we wait for the next big play. Karras is waiting for a Realm Warp. Hoya's backed off from the turret though, so he feels safe enough, I suppose. Herald in 20 seconds, a little less now, 10. About is so strong. Has the Zeal on top of the Essence Reaver. Which means he's got way more crit, a lot more attack speed. The move speed's really big, actually. Karras happily laning in side lanes. Cadril brought up a good point on the stream the other day, actually, which I do really agree with. Basically, because top laners have so much XP, it means that side laning as a mid laner against a top laner feels really shit. Because you're always down a level, basically. And you can see here, like, mid laners are down a level on the top laners right now. So you don't really want to side lane as a mid laner. But if you have someone like that's a Rod of Ages builder, so, you know, Ryze, Cassiopeia, they can at least match levels in a side lane and they're not just down a skill point and a huge amount of level stats. Both these players are actually building the Rod of Ages here, which definitely helps. You are. Good trade there, nice, good chunk. Famous poke champion is that Kiana, as Sam would say. Ooh, Hoya was spotted going through the Trowbridge. They do know he's here, so he's not out of vision. Anyway, he shows himself anyway. For a second, I thought he was on blue team. I was like, ooh, he's been spotted. Like, that he's just on the right side of the map. That happens. W choose to give up the Herald. Choose to get some camp steals instead. Yeah, popping that Ghost. Of course, it's from Spellbook. Matters less. Wave play coming through. Mind you, there's 2 grubs on the side of NIP, and they do have the Herald now as well, which has just been summoned. It's not going to be the full turret at this charge HP. Can they go for a big combo afterwards? No. Sometimes you see the punish from the dismount at the Herald. Tower taken in the bot side. Top lane was taken before this. So W actually 2 towers to none right now. 2.3k up. Karras even takes a blue buff from the one that was stolen away by Monkey. Mind you, our series after this point is Top Esports versus IG. It was a banger series last time around. Absolutely stick around and tune in for that. Guon does have flash. Gets hit by the Morning Mist. I don't think this matters that much. Maybe it'll force an ult at best. Dark Processionist hops out of. Yeah, doesn't even do that. Doesn't even force the flash. Can't walk up to NIP if they're grouped up, need Alice to flank. I think Yorick can also make a mess of things too. Basically what W wants to be doing is pushing in a lane with a Yorick or Rise and then making the angle off of that. You're right though, they can't really engage into a single direction from NIP. Renata is the best example of a single direction team fighter. Champions like Xerath can be that too actually as well. Hang on, go on. He's actually at kill threat range from the Ambassador. Takes away the red buff too, so that's 2 buffs in a row he's taken over from him. Blue buff then red buff. But yeah, Renata is a single direction team fighter. If you fight into Renata, you lose the game, basically. Seraphine's also up there too. Monkey gets the Crystallize. But really, Renata is just so fight on a single line. And then you've got champions like, you know, what's a good example of this? I mean, Renekton's a big one, right? But you really don't want to be grouped with your team. You kind of want to be on that flank. And stuff like the Yorick, I suppose, applies to that too. Guon goes into the river, looking for that wall stun, and does manage to get it onto just Cube. Not fantastic, actually. Exhaust thrown out. Miasma down from Care as well. That's a big tool used, actually. The Miasma's a pretty long cooldown, especially since you don't max it that early. Dragon's alive. NIP really want this one, because it would be their 3rd dragon. That threat of soul later. Hoya still has ult. Could flash away from about, and the spell shield wears off about quarter rotation, but he's alive for now. Care does flash over the wall. The Renato's pretty good, and the bailout comes through as well. Guon's still alive. Can they finish him off? Hoya's getting close down as well. I think it's a lost fight for NIP. I think they break apart their battle lines a little too quickly, and I think that'll be the kill there as well. WE walk away with a 3-for-1, about dying, but NIP, they don't understand the shape of their team fight. They're the ones which need to be stood in position and force WE to engage into them. They break their battle lines, and WE get the fight and the dragon after. Huge win for WE. No longer that threat of soul at the earliest opportunity. NIP will have to search again for their 3rd dragon. It's a good flash away. Afraid of... I think if he doesn't flash that, I think the crunch blows the spell shield and he dies. Care doesn't quite catch about, forcing Hoya to flash over as well. And then you're still in the meat grinder. You know, you're in the meat grinder with a Yorick, with a Rise, with the... I don't know, just they break apart their battle lines. Look, if they find that initial pick onto the Civet, I think it's okay. Maybe. But even then, allowing them to just spin into the backline, mistake there. Mistake. Hoya fraud? No, I think Hoya makes the right play there. I think Hoya's fine. I think the problem is flashing in as everyone else after. I think Care and Guon double flashing and committing to it, but then pulling everyone else out of position. I think that was the bigger mistake. Look, I think Hoya at that point, he would have been fine. And I think you can peel back with the Renata roll. I think the problem is your mid-jungle flashing in after. And honestly, Hoya's had a good series. And right there, I think it's the right angle again. And you do get both Summoners and Spell Shield out of about. Hoya now, not in the happiest position. Bizarrely awkward. I think as soon as you get the Summoners out of about, you just pull back into position, you're fine. The over-engage from the other members, I think, is where it goes from playable to disaster. My life would be a lot easier if I was a cat. Yeah. Then you have 9 of them. They all going to be 9 easy lives, you know? Gotta consider these things. Hoya doing fine in the sideline matchup again, by the way. I'm surprised that he's holding on to this matchup for so long. I would have thought around this kind of 1.5, 2 item mark is where things start falling apart for enough. Oh, jumping onto Guon. Remember, he doesn't have flash. Good trade there. Over half the HP. Has that 2 items. The ult comes back from Guon. Draw coming in, flashing over the wall. The ult onto Yaya, and about his spell shielded. Is this an overplay from WE now? Flash away from Assume. Karis walking forwards. He's doing a lot of damage, actually. Bailout procs Guon over the wall. And he won't get the kills in instead. Oh, they do get one. It's a 1-for-1 currently in that part of the fight. Hoya's in position. Does have that ultimate still. Assume the ultimate's coming through from Care. Starting to run them down. This time it's WE diving too deep. About can't get the damage. And NIP end up taking the fight. An over-engage from Monkey. I think the initial trade onto Guon was fine. And then afterward... Well, I think... No, I think with the information he had, trying to get half HP off of Guon, that's fine. But then, of course, didn't understand that draw was there. Draw big value at being able to disengage the play. He's a level up. He's really strong. He's really feeling the play. Guon uses his mobility, gets popped out. So that bit's... But even then, yeah, no, you just don't have the people moving at first. Now the roam warp comes in. And then they manage to mark the landing point. About's just not in position. Yao Yao goes in where there's no follow-up. Care comes over from the wave. I think they maybe could have made this up like a 0-for-1. Like, lose your jungler, but it doesn't get worse. About is just not in position. About is just not in position at all. By the time he comes around to the play, he even misses his Q there too. And then when he comes into the play, you know, gets slapped by a Cassiopeia. Care cleans up the rest of the fight. You see the damage from Monkey, and he really does want to bully about Guon. But that was an overplay. His team wasn't in position yet, and NIP's was. Okay. 1,000 gold up for NIP after that last fight. They didn't get that third dragon, of course. It's not... Look, if they'd got that last dragon, then this next fight would probably be the game ender. Ah, what happened? Oh! Missed ult from Monkey. That's what happened there. Though is that going to be up in time for the dragon? It's not that long a cooldown. Second level, bit of cooldown reduction from Shojin. From Eclipse. Bit of hang on, Eclipse, does that give ability haste? Does it give 10 still? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I remember it used to give a lethality. Which it no longer does. Eclipse used to be very, very, very strong. Still pretty strong. Mid lane turret falls. Dragon up in 10 seconds. NIP not on the dragon first. Normally you'd like to do that for Callista. No flash on Callista. That's the big summoner I noticed, really. No flash on Renata either, because you have got the spellbook summoners. Has teleport and heal. Telep's not very useful here. Would like to have something else. Now they're onto the dragon first. W just choosing to give it up. They say, okay, well, it's not Soul. Let's go somewhere else. Sivir is pushing mid lane. NIP not finding an engage to stop them from doing this. Take a couple of plates off of mid, but that's it. Eclipse gets 15 abilities. Yeah, I thought it was 10 or 15, something like that, yeah. So they give up the dragon. I think WE realized, look, we've given up positioning. They're on the dragon first. Let's not engage into them when they're set on the objective. That's how, again, NIP's comp is strongest when they're clumped together on the objective and they can buy space with Miasma and the hostile takeover. That's when they're at their best, so don't give them that fight. However, the problem is, I think that their other available options in terms of pushing mid or whatever just didn't feel very valuable. They had to trade down quite heavily there. Now NIP do have themselves soul point later on. Guon and Monkey both towards the bot lane now. Potential 2v2 fight. Guon walking in, goes unstoppable, misses the ultimate, and gets hit anyway. Tries to outplay Guon. Guon outplays him. Bit of an awkward ult from Hoya, but the flash is out from Cube. Monkey outplayed by Guon. Now Hoya, ooh, he's going to get comboed onto. There's a flash from Hoya, pops it immediately. Sivir pops that ultimate to chase them down. So flash away from Hoya now. Both top laners without a flash. We're looking for that handshake, can't quite get it. Yao's had an okay series, you know. Well, this game's been good, rather. This game's been good. The rest of the game's a little more flimsy, but this one's good. Baron now started, and they have the rend. It's going down very quickly. Cassiopeia takes this very quickly too. Where is that Renata ultimate? Here it goes. Only on to Karis. That's not great. Sivir steals the Baron. Another Ren Sway combo failed. It's to Sivir that walks away with it. Troll's going forwards. He dies. Do they make it out with two or just the one? I think it's just the one. About trying to run away. There's a ghosting Cassiopeia with a new fresh pair of shoes. Yes, she can buy them this season, running at them. Did Monkey get it? No, Monkey was dead for the Baron steal, so it's just on Sivir. Oh my god. They failed the Sivir smite combo. Sivir, the Callista smite combo. Oh, bloody hell. How does that happen? Down to 87 HP. Was it a Ricochet that got it? I think it was a Ricochet that got it. Was this a Ricochet Baron steal? Okay, so a couple of huge mistakes. The Renata ult is in entirely the wrong direction. The smite and the Ren come together. Oh my god, it's the Q back. Hang on, it's not even the Q. It's an auto attack. It's just an auto attack. The Q doesn't even steal it. It's just a damn regular boomerangy thing stealing it. Oh, God. That was the auto attack, not the Ricochet there. The Chalice auto attack. Guon never smite. Hang on, Guon didn't smite? Yuan didn't smite? Oh, Jesus. Are you kidding me? They was there for so long, too. Oh, Guon, that's a huge mistake. I think on the whole, he's been better than Monkey this game. Monkey's had a bit of a rough one, but that's a bad look. Dragon up in 2 minutes. I mean, NIP would like to fight around that. They are still technically ahead in gold. The Baron power play from W is not fantastic because, you know, they all died besides About. So what does About do with the Baron buff? Presumably just sticks in A lane and shoves it in. Maybe they're going to get mid lane in a turret. Baron buff is going to end just before the dragon spawns. Okay, sorry, I just had to reply to a Twitter DM that. All good. Right, 50 seconds till dragon. This could be the game-ending fight. Probably should be the game-ending fight. Karis has Actualizer, About has 4 items. Asim doesn't have Jack Show, which would be really, really big for him. So that's a big missing item. Monkey going on to Guwon. If they can catch Guwon before the ult, before everything comes through, it could be huge. That's a really good supreme display of talent to disengage. Monkey, his ult accuracy rate's not been... Oh my god, that's a Renata ult into the pit. Hoya walking forwards has Mega. Things have just exploded before the Dragon's even been started. The Kez is free hitting over the wall. Monkey's dead. Karis is having to run away. How much damage can About do at the back end? It seems just body hopping everywhere. Guon flashes away. The run up I don't think saves him, and indeed it won't. NIP clutched the fight. About can't get the damage down again. The teleport coming in from Hoya was marked by the Renata of Draw. And that's going to be Dragon. Infernal Soul to NIP. That should be the game-ending play. If they'd connected that ult from the Ambassador earlier, maybe W just kill him off before the fight starts. And then they all run headfirst into the Kiana ultimate. Infernal Soul changes everything now. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Rabbit. So what happens here? So they managed to catch out Guon pretty well. This is pretty good. And then the ult's just in the wrong direction. Ult's pretty good too. Hits most of everyone. Put down the Dark Procession into the Tri-Brush. Yaya getting hit by the ult doesn't change that much. So what happens with the Yaya here? He walks towards the ult, doesn't achieve much here. Where does his combo go? No, he's on the miasma. He's on the miasma, so he can't do it. He walks onto that. That's a bad fight from Yaya. Yaya, basically, he only gets a combo onto Assume Light after he's got a million Ren stacks up. Bad fight from Yaya. Bad fight from him. Very, very good for NIP to kind of jump through the Tri-Brush and take the aggressive foot, though. No, I think Kair's DPS over the wall was insane. Very good from the Cassiopeia. Just got the miasma down, just kept free hitting, safe position, and he didn't have to use either summon up. You know, he's got them both up now. Can't remember if they were both up at that, but he didn't have to use them, you know. Very good damage from him. And now NIP should be winning this game now. With an Infernal Soul, they should very much be winning this game. Suppose we could flip at Elder in the next few minutes. We've had an Elder this series already. Crystallization explosion on that bot side. If the team hits one of those Qs, someone's health bar is going to be not very happy. It's quite good poke at this point. WE frontline did nothing that fight? No. Well, I mean, they only really have one frontline. The Yorick barely counts. It is kind of the Alistair. Alistair just kind of stuck himself in the miasma. Oh, they might try and chase down Monkey. There might have to be a Realm Warp escape play here. We'll see. You could also see Realm Warp into a big Ambassador ult. Maybe. Maybe. Monkey's at 3 items. Guon 3.5. Very close to the edge of night. This game is not over. I mean, if About has one good fight, things go crazy. I think About's not been excellent, folks, this series. You think back to his Corki, which went melee range, kind of lost in that game. His Ezreal was pretty good in game 1. Even then, he was playing melee range with that champion, too. Playing like, I don't know. Draw Quad and Dark Possession, nothing much changes there. Go on, could go forward. So the Maiden immediately explodes. Hex Flash to the side from Yao. Baron's available, no Elder. We're just A-ramming for the sake of it, really. Haven't seen that many crazy Realm Warp plays either, but then again, very hard to Realm Warp effectively into Renata ult and the Cassiopeia, who are both going to mark your landing spot very well. We are just intercepting waves over and over, aren't we? Taking red buff. There was a question in chat. Yeah, the buffs post Baron spawn have been made into like just the sharing ones still, so 2 people get the buff, not the whole team. So yeah, it used to be that before, on the previous patch, after Baron spawns, buffs were global, so everyone would get red and blue buff into late game. Now they're just shared, which reduces their power late game, but yeah. Is so strong, oh my god. It's a Wit's End for Assume as well. By the way, I think this is something that we might see at some point, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Cassiopeia bot lane turn up at some point if the game becomes less about winning bot lane. Because Cassiopeia, with the extra item slot, kind of goes crazy. Top lane too, with Rod of Ages, could also be insane. That one might be more possible. Gyro going forward, takes a bit of damage in return. Hamshot back into it. Sivir pops. Okay, that's just down now. That wasn't very useful. They'll take that one for free. I think that NIP win the HP trade, get the ults out as well. Go on Spell Shield blown. That could be important. Karras could potentially flash onto him now if the situation arises. The Edge of Night completed, of course, to give him that. Hoya was on the flank there, level 19. 2 levels up on Cube. He's been allowed so much more positioning on the map, teleporting up towards the top side now. Baron started, they have Cassiopeia, Kalista, very good objective, secure. Yayo's going in with a 0 follow-up. He's too far away from his team. The Renata ult only hits onto Alistar, not fantastic again. Hoya might die here. I think Baron will die at the other side of it, though. Okay, Nard down. Supreme Display of Talent, tags onto 2 with the wraparound. Can they get anyone else out of this play? Monkey's going very, very deep. Has the GA immediately popped. Yayo's ultimate's down, and I think they might have just miscommunicated with the rest of the team. Again, About starting to crit through the team. The single directional team fight. It's not bad. The ricochet's really good, actually, but Assume kills the Sivir. Double goes into the bailout. Can't quite get the spears pulled out. He'll die too. So there's only one remaining Baron buff alive. And folks, there's 20 seconds until the Elder Dragon. This might end up being an Elder throw. Again, Cube trying to chase down for care. Doesn't get hit by the miasma this time. Needs to play at range. Needs to see if he can take this guy down. If you can get rid of the Cassiopeia, hit that Morning Mist, things change a little bit. Okay. Being stopped from recalling, importantly. Cube might do that. Okay, he can Blast Cone over if Cube does this. Realm Warp's coming over now. Blast Cone's into it. Can he get enough damage onto Cube? No, he won't. Cassiopeia goes golden. Folks, I think NIP might have just lost themselves the Elder. Even with the Infernal Soul, I think they might have just lost the Elder. Karras can go right over there now, and I think he'll be able to take it. Well, I don't know. Nar's back up and available now. Now Nar's back up and available. What happens now? Yorick will end up recalling. He'll come back into the play, but how quickly will he be there? We're going to watch this play again. Hoya gets nailed on the side. Yayo holds up the front line. It's not a good Renata roll again. The Renata roll is only onto the Alistar. Dwart not having a good game. The Monkey goes forwards, kind of commits them back into the fight. What happens with the rest of this? There's just a ton of Ricochet and Spell Flux damage. They manage to get a second angle. They get the stun onto Karras. How do they lose this while getting the stun onto the Rise? How does that happen? I guess Cube just goes and bonks him in melee range. Elder's being started by W, and W will take the Elder. W will take the Elder. Elder to WE on all 5 members. It has not been a clean series of late game objectives this series, folks. We have been truly persevering through this series with our group perseverance teams. Hoya using the backwards Q to try and get the Infernal Soul on the way for a little bit more wave clear. Doesn't do that much. Hoya being caught out on that flank, not able to do anything, went into mini Nart. Definitely hurts him. They spot Guon on the flank. Karis is hanging about on the off angle just to make sure that the flank is seen at advance. Guon spotted on another ward, and that means that he can't be there for the fight. The inhib's already down. Guon, you need to get back to base. He's trying to look for the flank because the Kiana fighting in base really sucks. There is only earth element within the actual base itself. There's no grass blade like there is in the jungle or water blade like there is in the river, which is why he has to go from this angle, really. Once again, Kiana's not in position. Ambessa's now marking that. The Elder is still available. Most of it's still available. Hitting the turrets now. The Renata roll does hit about. Oh, that could be dangerous. That's actually a lot of crit. And About gets stunned afterwards. About, my dude, you have a spell shield. Please use it on something. Kiana's died in the back end of the play. It won't matter. The Elder Dragon is too strong. Hoya tries his best. It's a great ult, but it's just not enough against the Elder. WE clutch out the series and will get revenge on NIP, giving NIP their first loss of group perseverance and tying them both up at 3-1 in series score. Okay, that was a way to end a game. WE were looking like the best team in the group, and then they lost to NIP, and I'm not going to lie, I feel like they've left a lot to be desired in some of their games anyway. I think, well, I suppose that is, been watching on YouTube when at work. Thank you so much, Rabbit. Well, thank you for the follow over here as well. The YouTube streams have had a couple of issues, so I'm sorry for them being a little bit more sporadic. Basically, there's just loads of ways they get randomly taken down. But I hope it hasn't ruined your watching experience, because it is really not great, actually. YouTube automated algorithm checks kind of get a bit crazy. What's the first pick? I mean, Varus is pretty easy to play, although I suppose there's stuff like Misfortune available, or you know, Yunara too, although Yunara's less good into it. You can play a couple of things with her, I suppose, and the Jhin, quite a big one too. Orianna for Cream. Fairly solid pick for him. Takes it away from Rookie, who had, I think he was the one who played it in the last series against them, actually. It wasn't played in the first series, actually. Varus Rumble lock-in, though. Oh, God. I think you need to take Jarvan. No Jarvan. I think you need to take, you know, backline access now. If there's anything else which combos up with this duo, I think you're just kind of screwed, aren't you? You're probably looking at a Cassante for 369 into Sobro. It's a fine matchup into the Rumble. You need something to get into the backline, though. Pantheon is not necessarily it, not going to lie. It's okay being able to be a ball deliverer, you know. If you flash for a W, point and click, the stun happens, they can't really get away from the shockwave, and it's Ambessa. Now, this is the matchup that was played the first time around, too. 369 played this in game 1 of that series. It was Top Esports win, with Jachi getting 2 quadra kills and a pentakill to end that game. Syndra for Rookie. He has been playing some damn fine games on that recently. One of his games versus JDG was one of the best games of it I have seen in quite some time. Second round of bans. No bot laners for Jachi, so I would suggest probably banning... Do you want to ban Jhin, maybe? Jhin, Pantheon, Ambessa seems like a too nasty point and click. Sivir for the spell shield. Okay, that makes sense. Poppy banned away from Wait. Misfortune for that lane sustain taken away as well. We did mention that a little earlier. Who's going to win? Oh, wait. So this is LPL, not LCK Express, by the way. But, not going to lie, neither of those teams have particularly convinced me recently over an LCK, KT Rolster, and Brion. Noxen, pretty fine here, I suppose. Wei had a great game on it in Game 3 versus Top Esports the last time around. Wouldn't be a surprise to lock it in here. Turn out the lights and, although the... Kiana locked in instead. Okay. Now, Pantheon's pretty good into Kiana, but Kiana gives you more upfront kind of CC and engage. The Nocturne's a bit more enabling other combos. Also, you don't know what AD carries on the other side yet. If they ended up, you know, locking in... Well, I guess maybe something like Ezreal or Corki could have been a bit of an issue. Ooh, thinking about some of that, there's a couple of different options here, actually. I don't love the Yunara, I have to say. I feel like the Yunara can just get blasted. And now you've locked in the Alistar. The Nautilus comes in for Jway, which is fine. I think basically bot lane will be winning for Photic and Jway. You have to really overperform as Jachi and Fengyue to get the most out of that. Got on a quick ad break. If you don't want ads, please subscribe, and we'll see you after minute 30 when we get back into that early game. So, rest of the map, double AP solo laners for IG, but no one that can really take advantage of that on Top Esports. I think I prefer IG's draft. I think they have the better range advantage. I think Top Esports do have engage. They do, but I think that it's very easy for them to lose someone on the engage very, very quickly. The Nautilus gives you a bit of tank. As long as IG don't lose someone on the way to the play by Pantheon ult or Ambassador ulting someone out of position, I think they win. However, you look at the lane matchups. I think IG has a slight edge in every lane, actually. Slight edge. Syndra's slightly better against the Syndra, especially early game. Varus good against the Yunara. Top lane, slightly Rumble favored. But not crazy. Not crazy at all. John, thanks for the follow as well. Still have a couple of minutes ago. Sorry, I missed that one. Alright, on to the Rift. Let's go. Hey, Kirby, thank you so much for the sub. Top up. Kirby, in a very lengthy sub message, has asked for why is there such high priority on Akali? Akali is a quite safe mid lane champion, which does well into a lot of mage matchups whilst not being a mage. So if one composition has a mage, and they have a good kind of like composition with say Jarvan or Rumble, which are meant to kind of like punish immobile carries, Akali escapes that. She's a very safe side laner in a way that a lot of mages aren't as well. But basically, she has a good lane matchup, and then is just a different kind of champion to play in mid lane. Whilst also not messing up your damage profile, she's still AP, and not many people know how to play AD-centric mid lane drafts right now. Not many. IG should win off of nameplate diff in mid jungle. Yeah, and last time I think Wei and Rookie, particularly Wei, destroyed Nio. Nio did almost carry a series versus anyone's legend. Level 2 is hit, just an auto attack too late. I think they could have forced a flash if there was a little bit more damage on the wave. The heal mainly just used for sustain there now, actually. No extra movement speed to help with that. Level 2 on both sides. Now we get to see if Rookie can do much against Cream here. Doesn't get the stun there, but does end up getting the actual punt back, so he will get himself the Splinter of Ra. Level 3 hit by both of them now. W hit for that slow. Cream trading quite well, actually, in the early game there against Rookie. You'd expect it to be a little better. Way coming in towards that bot lane first. No heal there. There's still the Water Blade to be used, and it's a fail flash for Fengyue. A bad start to the series. Good timing from Wei, who goes to a bot side, camps into immediate bot side kill. Jachi, buddy, it's okay. Won't end up stopping the back. So now Wei will... Hang on, can he get himself 2 long swords from that now? Or is it... Yeah, he'll get himself 2 long swords from that back. That is very strong start for Wei. Now, we already see this at some points. He even gets the pickaxe? He gets pickaxe first back. Oh my god, that's awful for Top Esports. Because now you just can't fight up until... You can't fight in the early game against this Kiana now. No, it's already tech that we saw in the last series, which is Kiana can sometimes take 3 camps, recall, get 1 longsword, and then fight harder in the early game. Because you've done a kill in good timing, you not only get to do that, where you get 3 camps, you get the kill, and you recall for a stronger early game item. The pickaxe is the annoying part of the build to get to as a jungler, because, you know, it's too expensive as the individual components. Rookie? I want to see how he plays out these early trades. This is the kind of matchup I love to see Pro View on, because, yeah, there you go. Nice little stun there. Rookie, one of the better Syndra players of all time. Genuinely, guys got a real track record in this thing. Did I say mid? What did I say mid? How's it going, by the way? Extra gold from First Blood is strong. True, I forgot about that. Way coming in. He has the flash. Can you force it away from Cream? If he gets this Water Blade, it is a problem. Stun's not quite there from Rookie, though. Mistake from him. I think he could have just CC chained that. Cream actually trades very well onto Rookie there. Although, maybe a return gank available. I think that the problem is, Rookie wanted to see the flash first from Oriana. Well, if you put the stun down and the Ice Blade doesn't land, then there's no chance for kill anyway. Wei is really active. All of his camps were down for a while. No flash on Fengyue. That might just be a dead Alistar. Do they call it off? They do. Ooh, hook lands. Flash away from the tower. Now Wei takes aggro. Half a second off. So close the arrow would have killed. Not a great dive from IG, but at least they don't lose anyone in return. Okay, Naya goes into the bot side jungle. Because Wei has had to recall after losing that amount of HP. Took Krogs, but will lose a camp from that. So Naya gets himself a little bit further back into the game. That's important. If that dive had worked out, it would have been, again, another acceleration play. It would have shut down Jachi. Jachi's doing fine in terms of CS now. You actually get 2 summoners out of that too from Jue and Wei. Wei. Cerberus 369 trading out in this top side. 369 showing that, like, he's happy to take this as a kind of a constellation matchup. Well, not a constellation matchup. More like a handshake matchup, really. Oh, Equalizer used. Just tapping onto 369. We'll get that next wave pushed in as well. We'll see if we can get some E poke down. And he can. Oh, 369 uses ult anyway. Right, okay. I saw it on cooldown. Now, the problem is, Cerberus is quite low HP. 369 does have flash, so you can't easily confirm this. Oh, he gets there anyway. By the way, the, that's scary, actually. Loses the flash, that's it. So Wei's now blown flash in every single lane, and also got a kill bot lane as well. Now, he's used some time to do that. So Naya will be starting Dragon. He's giving up some farming time as well. Oh, Fengyue is going mid lane. Ball cow delivery system. Stun from the trample. Rookie loses his flash. Good roam over from Fengyue. Oh, so this is the play where... So 369 ulted first. I think maybe he's trying to skip over an E there. Gets himself closer back towards his lane. So Naya's got a lot of farm up on Wei now. Wei has really tried to split his attention across different parts of the map. Hello, Sam. How's it going? I have a coffee. I'm surviving on that front. Yep. What did I say? I thought that IG had slightly better lanes across the board, and they have a range advantage. So if top esports don't get themselves the immediate pick with Pantheon ult before a big play, or the Ambassador ult on someone out of position, I think IG come away with the advantage. However, knowing the nature of these two teams, it's going to be a mess. The last series was a mess. In a fun way. In a very fun way. However, I think this is a competitive draft.
When Niall got his MVP, so one that was on things like the Pantheon that he did very well on, made some massive aggressive moves early. So there's at least some good history of that in recent weeks when he made that one happen. The scoreline wasn't superb, but it was effective. Say that.
So, you say that. However, the last time I saw him on Pantheon was versus IG, and he went 2-9. And they did win that game, but that was through Jachi pentakilling and double quadra killing to win that series. It was absurd. Mid lane's going pretty well for Cream, though, on the whole. Normally we see that the Syndra does do well into the Oriana. On the whole, it's not quite as simple as that. Early lane's been actually quite good for Cream. Of course, Rookie lost his flash a little bit later. Fungo has been impressing me more and more this split. I actually think he's been disappointing me quite a lot, Harold. I think this guy's actually been quite poor for a lot of this split. In fact, I think Fungyue and Nio have been the Achilles heel of top esports. They have been the reason why they've not been able to stand up at the top level. I hope to see them grow, but realistically, I think when we see the year move on, it wouldn't surprise me to see top esports look at replacing them at some point. Potential fights over towards those grubs. Nice, quite strong hit. Hook misses, but Dre does get into melee range. Gets that staggering go blows passive. Second grub taken. I think they back off at the second one. Hit the hook this time. Where's the shield? Only comes out right now. Doesn't even need to use it. No, it's very, very low HP. Oh my god, and that is not a great flash, folks. That is not a great flash. He's trying to ult out of the play. It's so close, he'll die. It's Kiana taken down on the other side. Bad play from Nio there. Fungyue trying to combo up with 369. Rookie not able to get that much down. Puts an ult, but it feels like it's just a bit of a desperation, frustration one. Rookie, not a great start to the game from him. 2 grubs over to the side of IG. Both junglers dying, but Rookie also falls. Crystallization on mid lane. Top esports getting to the play a little sooner. I wonder, folks, whether Wei put too much time into lanes. I wonder whether he could have just farmed a lot more heavily and just tried to power farm to, ahead of the Pantheon, because the Kiana is a very fast farming jungler. So this is back to that play again. Rookie trying to get a good stun. Does stop the Alistair from actually engaging there. That was fine from Rookie. That was okay. And then he gets comboed anyway. Cream just... It's a bit of a split fight from top esports. I mean, Cerberus finally getting that kill there. You can see that the point and click and the ability to traverse the fight from top esports was very important in these early plays. Rookie kind of a bit of a frustration ult there. I don't know, Harold. He's like solo lost them some games, Harold. Yeah. I think like this, I think Fungyue has really struggled. In fact, I think, well, he's definitely the worst support in like group ascend, especially since Air had that really good game. Hang on, ulting towards mid lane. Remember, Rookie doesn't have flash. He's going to be taken down with that last auto attack. Rookie goes down for a second time. Despite him being on a comfort champion of that Syndra, it has not helped him one bit. But like, I mean... Yeah, in terms of, like, I'd say Palk is better than him. I think Feather's better than him. YCX, he's probably... Like, realistically, he's like a mid to bottom tier support in bot lane, really. Did I just get all 3 grubs? I thought they only got 2 of them, but they might have gotten 3, because they smited the second one. Did anyone see any of the little grublings come forth? They at least got 2. I don't know whether they got the 3rd. So, bro, done. Just lightly grilling his 369. Dre... That is a hook and a half. Wow, the cleanser's gone. I didn't think that would hit either. Jaxi goes down. Great pick off by Dwayne. How's Sobro? Oh, hang on. That's a ball delivery system. Have the shockwave if they need it. They might not even need it. He'll come back. The equalizer onto the wave. Is that... I'm actually not sure that's going to sit around for the wave long enough. In fact, it won't. It only tagged the first couple of melee minions. That's a bit of frustration ult from Sobro. Yeah, Sobro is truly the son of the Shy in the sense that he can snowball very heavily. He can snowball very heavily or kind of fall apart on a whim. He plays like he plays the greedy plays quite well, and he'll play for stopping recalls. He'll play for proxying. Phase rush by Rookie. That dragon is available. Hook misses. Dwayne doesn't have ult. Just use that bot. So Fungo going in onto Wei, trying to get him away from that play. Alistair is probably just going to be a dead. Dwayne does flash over the wall. That's not bad actually. Ult onto Cream. He has a flash, but he doesn't get to use it. Great pick off by Wei. Jaxi's into the plane now. Minion taxi over Fungo. Not bad there. But was that a bit of an overengage? Jaxi flashing as well. Both of them feeling it now. Stun. Helping save them. Is that last combat spear going to be enough? They've got a heal. Rookie over the wall. Ends up being 1 for 1. Wei goes down. Cream goes down. Now Jaxi down, Flash and Fungyue. I actually think in this case, folks, I think Flash being down on Jaxi and Fungyue is a really bad thing, no? The Rookie gets that stun in the phase rush. Dwayne tries to get the easy pick off on the Fungyue, doesn't get it. It's a really good pick off by Wei here. Good stun by Rookie to save them as well. I think that could have gotten worse. Naya avoids the wall stun. Jaxi coming up the river earlier with his ult still available. Of course, no Varus ult hits here. Not bad from Fungu, actually. Good minion taxi over. Did talk about how he's kind of had a bit of a disappointing split so far as a new player coming up towards the LPL. better moment from him. He's had occasional good games. I'm not going to say it's been completely without that, but he's definitely struggled to match top esports expectations of the top hit. That's almost close to the kill. Forced the flash out. Well played by 369, playing well on the Ambassador in the 1v1 on the whole. Another defensive equalizer to tap down the wave. Gets a bit of damage onto 369 as well. Almost gets the kill with the last tick of the burn there, actually. Rookie in the side lane against Cream needs to be a little bit afraid here. Does have the upgraded Merc Treads for the Orianna really changed the way that you play this matchup. Actually, again, you can be a lot more ballsy. A lot more ballsy. Oh, that's a nasty combo. 369 did not see that one coming out at all. Has flash. He's going to flash away. I think he still dies, though. Not going to lie. Nope, the Earthblade misses. 369 good sidestep, and he makes it out in the 1v3. Crazy. Bad trade onto Fongyue there. Rookie staying safe, but he's losing a lot of gold. Down 1.4k. First pick Orianna getting huge value, and I have to say, Rookie takes what is known as a counter matchup into the Orianna. It's just not worked here. He's struggled quite a lot. Jatchi popping the ult in. Here comes the Pantheon. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Photic did not expect that at all. Ghostblade did not save him. Great kill combo from Nio and Jatchi. Pantheon getting some good value there. Teleport towards topside from the Orianna. This could be a dead Sobro, by the way. He has no flash. If no one else comes up to help him, I think it's just dead Rumble. Great teleport out of base. He's going to put the equalizer down. Probably knows he's dead. Just wants to clear out the wave. He just wants to get that cannon. God damn it. Doesn't even get that. Kill to the side of 369. He's 3-0 now, by the way. Almost 1,000 gold ahead. Both solo laners from Top Esports having a wonderful time with things. Top Esports probably feeling very hard done by that first series loss to IG, where it was, again, just cataclysm. Late game team fights. No Jarvanol. Wei was by far the best player on the Rift, though, in the first series. Once again, big lead for him. 800 gold ahead. On a Kiana, a champion that can solo carry games like this. That carry jungler is so very important. No one's coming down to help this, by the way. 369 will... Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a teleport. Sorry, I lied. Photic. Oh, dear God. I think he's dead again, folks. I think it's dead again. No, teleport in towards the mid lane. Fongyue just uses that ult to cleanse off the Varus ult. I wonder whether Photic could have held on to that, you know. Instead, slowing him with the E, wait for the ult to come down, and then ult later. Maybe a bit of panic from Photic. Photic, of course, one of the question marks about this roster, really. Huge question mark, really. Not too much to be added on to that, sadly. Rookie, he does have flash. Don't tell me they're going to blow his flash again here. They see Nio. Okay, spot him there. So, bro, you're going to lose these trades against 369 pretty hard now. Eclipse comes down, doesn't get the full damage there, though. I don't think he does get the Q2 in there, actually. Shui having a pretty decent game so far. That nasty hook onto Jatchi early was very important. Cut down his potential early game lead quite a lot. Rookie does get his tier 2 boots now. Dragon in 20 seconds. Top Esports could get themselves a very early third dragon. Breaking it through. Jatchi on a good angle. Shui, does he have any way out of this? He's headbutt away. Not sure about that. That's a great stun from Rookie. Wei almost gets the one shot afterwards as well. Flash out of the shockwave. Damn, Rookie getting a huge play there. Doesn't even use the ultimate. Now, what does that mean in terms of HP bars? A good stun. Another great stun. 2 stuns in a row, causing issues for Top Esports. Wei flashed onto. The exhaust is put down. But the top lane is coming into the play. No, not yet. Rookie does have the unleashed power. I don't think it'll matter. Stun is not bad there again. Can't quite get a range for the R button. And for the skilled outplay. IG escaped with only 1 dead. Partly due to the efforts of Rookie. Difficult laning phase. Down 2k. But, well, at least having impact with those abilities. Equalizer. Doing decent work there, keeping 369 lower HP. I think they've accepted they're losing the dragon now. Dragon taken by top esports. Third, that threat of a soul later on the fourth dragon. Herald taken by IG, though, on the other side of the map. Not to be outdone. Well, they are being outdone in the objective game, but not to be fair on that. Jway, knew he kind of had to be frontline there, but, you know, Rookie wasn't in position. Photic only has a little bit of damage at this point. It's pretty good from Wei. Does get it onto 4 people, even if he doesn't get the stun onto them. It's not bad there. The stun from both Rookie and Wei, getting a lot of work. That gives them the HP to work with. I think without that big chunk, it would have been just unplayable, really. Rookie eats a QW on the way in, which loses most of his HP. Crazy that Syndra Kiana combo didn't lead to more. Syndra's two shut down. Syndra doesn't have gold. You know, Rookie has had a poor early game. His laning was not good enough. He's occasionally Rookie has disrespected that Pantheon. Actually, I can think of a couple of times. There was a Talia game a little earlier in the splits where he just was very fed. I think it was an Ari game. Maybe it was Ari game actually. Maybe that was it. A couple of times where Rookie has just kind of disrespected Pantheon. Jway's coming up. Fungway comes out of the brush. I don't think that works very well for them. Trying to look for that shockwave. I don't like that, Fungway. He's having to use the ult now. He's going to get ulted under turret. There is no shockwave, and Fungway just dies. That dive should never happen. As soon as you see Jway, you have to call that off. No shockwave from Cream. Bad mistake from Fungway, who before that was having a pretty okay game. Hard to call that anything else but a mistake, really. Oh, so there was a kill in the jungle, by the way. Oh, oops. Yep, okay. That'll do it. Okay, now we see teams open back up onto the map. Wei is strong. Wei is very strong. He has been out jungling Nio so far. Although Nio's not been, well, it's not been completely out of sorts. You know, again, a couple of good kills about the place. Does have his ultimate back up again. Fungway, no flash, can't really force onto Cerberus because of that. 369 gets even more gold ahead. He is very, very happy, let me tell you.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
Trying to defend his mid lane. Photic has been struggling too. Jachi, one of our best AD carries, I think, in the early splits. He's been really impressing me, as he has with many others, really. Hook onto Fongyu. No flash. Does use his ult now. Jway might have gone too far for this one. Does have an exhaust. Uses the ult again. IG doing it, that whole thing where they're just frustration ulting. Rookie, Sober, and Jway kind of all doing it now. Too much shields on 369. Has the Merc Treads as well. Wow, 369 just doesn't take damage. Holy moly. Okay, fair play. Oh, that was the teleport shield. Right, teleport shield. Alright, 3k ahead now from top esports thereabouts. So I get some gold out of that top lane, bot lane, rather. Alright. Top lane, bot lane turret taken by Cerberus. Nice and easy for them. Be gone, advert. Advertisement. Actually not sure where in English whether it's advertisement or an advertisement, or, you know, in terms of the accents. Not sure. Wei hopping over the wall, jumping onto Jachi, who ults away. No ult used by Wei. Jachi very afraid of that. So, bro, that's a teleport. I'm not sure you're going to love that, but the teleport shield from the roll quest makes a big difference. Fongyu is not feeling great now. That equalizer is onto all 5 members. Doesn't keep them in it for long, but the damage is still there. Leandri's ticking down on all of them. Crystallize used by Wei there. Reminder that Wei still has his ultimate too. Combat Spear missing. Dragon in 5 seconds would be Cloud Soul. Stun's not bad from Rookie. Jway once again having to flash defensively. He's tried to be the front line. To mixed success. Fengyue coming back out of base. Sobro did use that teleport and use his ult. You really want to give her over a Cloud Soul? I suppose it's not the end of the world if you do. Doesn't really change the way that you play these fights. Sobro potentially looking to go in. Oh, hang on. That's an ult coming through from the Pantheon. They get onto Judgy! Oh, the AD carry's dead! Top jungle. Finish him off. But what's happened to the rest of the team? Well, I mean, Syndra's alive somewhere in the enemy jungle. Not really sure he'll be making out of that one alive. Sobro will go down as well. Jungler is alive. The AD carry being dead, I mean, it helps, but Photic also died on the initial engage. Dragon's still available. Are there smites up? Yes, smite for both people. Looks like Cloud Soul will be taken by Top Esports. 369. Doesn't have the ult to go over the wall. Cloud Soul gained. Earned by Top Esports. Okay. Okay. Rookie. Safe in top side for now. Trying to push out where he can. No Pantheon ult threatening him. It was down from last fight anyway. Wei, I think, is the way, the truth, and the life for IG right now. If Wei can get huge combos again, maybe it's playable. Shockwave whiff. That's the bit which I wasn't focusing on at the start of it. Shockwave whiff. That made it much more playable. Photo got hit by an Ambassador ult. Did have flash. Didn't flash it. Quite a hard position. You never really want to be lined up against that wall. Blue side Dragon fight diff, really. You know, blue side genuinely does impact your ability to play team fights like this. Ambassador's going to solo win this game, isn't he? Well, 369, quite good at the whole Ambassador champion, actually. One of my favorite plays from last year was a quadruple Infernal Dragon Ambassador with an Infernal Soul, just doing like 10,000 damage in a, yeah. Really depends on stuff like salaries, Michael. Stuff like salaries and because like salary caps are genuinely quite an annoying thing in LPL, right? Or well, not an annoying thing, but they are a thing, right? You have to just respect what they do. Is 9 pushing in towards that bot side. Even more gold for him. Yeah, this Ambassador might just run away with the game first. What else can you say? This Ambassador might just do horrible, horrible things to people this game. Okay, so now Elder is now alive early. Now, Taichi, I don't think they feel that bad about this now. With that in mind, you know, realistically, you know, Cloud Soul doesn't win this game. It's definitely nice. I think particularly Nymaera with Cloud Soul feels great because she opens up a fight with it. However, you know, if you can get Elder, it brings you back from behind the game. Do they just ult onto it? I think that's probably just a dead Sobro, isn't it? Drops the ultimate, tries to get that slow down. I thought 369 would just... In fact, I thought he would just kill there. In fact, doesn't manage to hit the ultimates. Okay, makes it out alive. Survival. Hey, Baseliner, thank you so much for the kind comment. That's really nice to hear. Thank you. It's very kind of you to say. Thank you. Dragon in 2 minutes 30. I think IG are just trying to stay safe. That's their goal right now. Stay safe. Problem is Sobro is down 3,000 gold. Fengyue uses the ult Wei uses it onto Fengyue rather. He's got his ult running over half his health down. ult from Wei is not that long a cooldown. It's not a huge victory. Unless they want to fight, you know, Baron now, which I would imagine they don't. Nio. A real threat onto him. Photic is not feeling that strong either. Hang on, 369 does have flash. Does he have to use it? Wei's coming back towards his bot lane. He's going really far in. He's got a Q2 waiting at the shield. Doesn't quite get it. He has the ult back in. He really wants these kills. Here comes Nio on the other side of things. I think Sobro will flash away. If Comet Sphere doesn't quite get the damage, the W might do after though. Double kill for Nio, who flies in like a bolt from the heavens down to the bot side. This might be the play which opens up the victory for top esports, because even if they don't... Hang on, that's going to be a dead Pantheon, though. Does that change things? Pantheon dead. 45 seconds down. Not going to be around for the setup around the dragon. I still think it's good for top esports. They're pushing in across the map. Not unhappy with things, I suppose. So what happened in this bot side? Well, he's down a level, down a million amount of gold. Thinks he can find an overheated trade, knows that Wei's on the way, and when do they spot the Pantheon coming in? Well, he's heading from mid lane. It's a long-ass ultimate at this point in the game. He just runs straight bot and just pings it up. He does it straight from mid lane. Damn, long-range ultimate, man. Long-range ultimate. They stack together. The Q gets both of them. Ends up dying. How does he die at the end of this? Just a good arrow from out of Fog of War? With the W arrow stacked up? Okay, fair play. Good snipe, Photic. Good snipe from him. Important there. You know, if Pantheon had been able to stay on the map, I think this Elder fight would have been as good as gone. Now, folks, we are into the situation which we saw quite a lot of the last time we saw these two teams. Which is effectively, you know, one team can get the lead going into the late game objective. Doesn't really have to decide anything, though. Not going to lie. Jump on towards Rookie. Rookie's had a poor game, folks. Down over almost 3,000 gold. A great pickoff from top esports. Been punishing the vulnerable Syndra. He's been making mistakes since the early game. Elder now started. It did take the ultimate of Ambassador to do this. 369 finds his way into the backline, though. That's not a good ult from Wei. It's disengaged. It's a bit of desperation. Photic does throw an ult into the play, but I don't think there's going to be that much damage following it. Top esports, great split picks. We were saying the difference between these comps would really be, well, you know, if top esports can get picks on people out of position, that'll be the difference, the end of it, really. Photic is the next one to fall. He was on the other side of the fight. Top esports will get themselves a free Elder Dragon. You heard that. Free! Do you think I've got a job in infomercials, folks? Not sure myself. Rookie has more bad games than good these days. That is not true if you've watched the rest of the games this split. I do disagree with that. You know, if I look at the games which he's played, first game of the split on the Ari was good. Probably the last two of the Weibo series weren't great. His Orianna versus AL was fine. His Onivia was actually pretty good. And his Syndra was excellent versus IG. His LeBlanc was pretty good. His Talia was pretty good. Yone wasn't great. Syndra versus BLG was pretty bad. All three games versus top esports were good. So I would say, on the whole, it's about 60% good games for him so far this split. So I don't, or like, yes, like 2/3. I think that he's been really quite good on that, on the whole. That being said, this game has been awful, so don't let that detract from how bad this game has gone for him. You know, 1 or 2 good stuns, but realistically, he just dropped too much gold. Dropped way too much gold in that early game. Baron goes down. Top esports are armed up with both Uber buffs. Pushing in across multiple lanes at 369. What a game he has had. He has been the most important player on top esports this game. He's basically unkillable. Merc treads, more Malmortius, GA. Even if you kill him, you've got to get through an overshield. And then the extra life as well. That is... Do we have any info on Jackie Love returning? We're not sure. Not sure. We'll see. Well, top esports They found Jachi, so honestly, in terms of the AD carry roll, they're actually doing pretty okay on that point. The laning phase can be a little bit skew-off, but yeah, going in for what should be the game-ending play. Elder is available, Sobro is very low HP. The hook onto 369, but again, he's really, really quite hard to kill. Backs off, might teleport back into the play. The Elder starts roaring. Top esports get 2, probably more than that soon. 369 teleporting back in as predicted. And the game will soon end. Not much of a fight back after a poor early game from Invictus Gaming. Every lane having its foibles. 369, the man on top esports to really lead them to victory. Ending on what should be a 7-0-5 scoreline. An excellent 369 and Bessa game. Not bad at all from top esports. Not bad at all. Mundo ban away. Okay, that means Malphite. If you're going Mundo ban, you want Malphite. So they're giving him a choice of what? Azir, Malphite? I think if you ban one, you take the other. You ban that. Ah, sorry, it's top esports first pick. My bad, I misjudged. I hate this damn draft thing. It keeps ugh. Okay, they gave them the choice of Azir or Malphite. They ban the Malphite. They can take that first pick. That's good for top esports. IG on the other side. Now they can think about Akali into it. Akali's pretty good into it. I guess you could Aurora, but that's a little bit weaker. Yeah, I think Rookie goes either Akali or is there another mage you'd want to take into it? I guess you could go Talia. Yeah, Talia's fine too. Talia or Akali, probably the two you're thinking of. Then outside of that, you've got stuff like Wukong. Surprised to see this locked in right now. I mean, there's Misfortune in the sub with bullies about in lane. I think Misfortune is fine now for Jachi, right? He pentakilled them the other day on it. I guess you don't have to lock in the mid lane matchup right now, but typically you like to pick an answer because it means you get to hide matchups a little later into the draft. Renekton's not bad here either. That one's a safe blind pick, on the whole. Not many people playing crazy counters. Well, the 369 did actually play the cannon the other day, so he's actually one of the people that can do it. Whoops, that could be a problem for them. Vi is up and available. Poppy into 2 dash champions already is pretty effective. Can even play that in support role, actually, at that point in the draft. Nah. Bothered by top esports. Not bad in Stat Renekton. We did say, hey, you know, some matchups left in Stat Renekton. And 369 does play some of those matchups. Misfortune locked in, though, like we were saying, pretty good with the Azir because Misfortune doesn't kill tanks, Azir kills them for you. Sion free. Sion is, Sion Cassante for 369 or Nah all sound fine. The Talia is locked in by Rookie. Renekton Talia in solo lane, still pretty powerful here. Top esports set up for like a mega frontline comp. If they get Braum Sion, I think they're super happy. Well, no, I guess you need the CC for the Misfortune at that point. The Nah's bound away from the Renekton matchup. Look, 369 is going to get a decent matchup here now. But if you get, like, I don't know, say, if you get Leona Sion, I think it's so happy as top esports now. You just need a little bit of CC for Misfortune. You can even go Rel if you want, right? You've got, like, Rel, Rakan, Leona. All of them are fine. Nocturne banned away from where he had, again, we were saying this earlier, but has an insane... yeah, it does have some insane stats on that, honestly. Is Poppy ever going top or support? Sometimes support, yes, into certain matchups, not crazy amounts of the time, but yes. Top lane, I think only Hoya's played it. And Hoya's like that is a comfort pick for him, and his champion pool is a little bit flimsy. He won with that, I think. So now IG going into the second round. They need to have some backline access. If they don't have backline access, it's a problem. They pick the Rel because of that, although it is into the Poppy, which is Dre played this and it was not great the other day, actually. Shinzao locked in there. Shen thought about it. I mean, there's a couple of top lane matchups you can take into the Renekton. We were thinking about, well, you know, the Gnar was already banned. The Sion's fine. They just need that front line. Front line would be better for them, I think. The Shinzao means that the Poppy does go support, by the way. And it is Sion. Okay, so not great combos for the actual... not great combos for the Misfortune, honestly. And they're thinking now about going the Trundle, and that's pretty good here. That's a pretty good Trundle pick. Works very well into the Shinzao and the Sion. There you go. All right, Trundle is pretty damn good here, actually. Now, Sion going to be countered pretty heavily now, actually. I still think Top Esports come away with a better composition. I think they come away with a better composition. However, as rightfully said in chat, 369 is not on a carry. And I think 369 has been Top Esports' best player. Well, he was their best player last game. And if you get ahead of Sobro, it shuts down one of the more volatile members for IG who can do a lot of work from ahead. IG, I think, come away with some decent answers, but the overall composition is more coherent from Top Esports. In terms of laning phase, yeah, pretty even across the board, actually. The Sion pick with Trundle up, yeah, especially, yeah, I have to say it's been less successful, the Trundle pick into him, than it was at Worlds last year and the like, but still obviously a big threat. On to the Rift we go for Game 2. Ooh, barrier popped level 1 from Photic, not from Jatch, interestingly, though the heal is used there. Heal used on the other side, so 2 trade to 1. Wei starting on enemy red buff. Now, was he spotted there? I don't think he was. Nio, in theory, his top camps, knows that he can go onto the other side of the rift instead. Wei spotted taking those Raptors now. Now, can he get himself over to the Raptors? Wei might go Raptors to Raptors. Maybe. No, he's going to his bot side. He wants to isolate bot lane a little bit. But even then, I don't really think you'd do much against the Poppy Misfortune there. I don't think you can walk in and gank. Ah, this is interesting from Nio. Nio chooses not to go towards Raptors or Red Buff, instead going towards Krugs, because he thinks he can safely get the steal without being contested by the Trundle. So, yeah, he's trying to ping for help here, trying to call the Renekton over. Nio really wants to get some of these if he can. Can he get them with the rest of his W? Gets almost all of them. Sobra's heading over. He's only level 2. He doesn't get level 3. Flash is over. Wei did get the slow. Can Azir come to help him? Does he need Cream? Buddy, you might need to leave here. Cream, buddy, you need to go help your jungler, I think. No, instead, going potentially for a solo kill onto Rookie. No, not enough damage. Okay, he's out safe. I thought that was going to go worse than it was, actually. I thought they were chased down. Sorry for bothering you, but what's your take with GT versus Koi? It's the best 2 teams right now. Yes, I think you're right. I think they're the 2 best teams. Yep. Yep. I mean, I think that G2's week 1 drafts were pretty poor. MKOI, I think, are... they look worse without Yunara. They're a very good Yunara team, I will say. Yeah, and I think that the teams didn't really know how to draft around Yunara instead of, like, you know, like they were picking Corki into it, which really doesn't work very well. And then it took a little while for them to figure out stuff like the Poke Varus or the Aphelios. KC better than G2? That's not true right now. That's not true right now. KC, I think, can grow into being a better team, but right now they're definitely not. No, they're not quite at G2's level, I don't think. They may well be, though, at some point in the year. I think they just need some time to grow there. And that's understandable, right? Because, you know, KC are a new squad coming together. G2 keep that synergy from before. Nio invading is spotted. They know about this. Wei, not able to do anything about it, though. Now I get to camp steal. He's done quite well, actually, of making sure that Wei doesn't get everything. Getting that first series. In that first series... Not first series, the first series between these two teams, rather. Really felt like Wei just completely destroyed Nio. And he kind of did, actually. Even in that game 1, Nio got pretty far behind Wei. It's mainly the lanes that were winning from IG, which gave... from top esports, that gave him such a leg up. Right here again, actually. Winning bot lane. Photic is so far behind already. 15 CS down. And jumping onto Nio. Nio will get himself that Gromp. Flash forwards. No ult or something like that from Shinzei. Remember, he doesn't have flash or anything. They're trying to get that kill. They do. The Valkyrie's getting some damage down. Nio doesn't get that W off. And Wei is now melee range as a Trundle, which is typically a very good place to be as a Trundle. Flashes away. Double. Rookie popping that Ghost. Can he get down in time with the rock surfing? I don't think so with the heal blown. Azir taking the wave at turret. 1 for 1. Kill to Fengyue. Kill to Wei. Okay, so Wei comes out ahead from that. Wei actually also had in farm too, by the way. He's been farming better, even with the camps removed from him. Nio not taking enough of his own caps, I don't think. I don't think EU drafting works. I mean, it works for a certain definition of works. I just don't think it's the best in what we've seen in the meta right now. Oh, that's really nice recall stuff. Okay. Buys himself a bit more time. First recalls have come through from everyone. Bramble Vest for 369. Sobro going towards the pickaxe. A couple of different items you can build up towards that. You can even go towards stuff like the Eclipse, right? Which would be quite nice, actually, for the old Renekton into the Scion. Gives you that shield. Although, I don't know. Not as big fan of Eclipse Renekton as I was in the past. Obviously, because the dime's changed a bunch. Further going towards tier. G actually got the BF sword first back, so he is super happy. If you ever get a first back at BF sword, you are so happy as Misfortune. Wei going on to Fengyue. Doesn't have flash, remember. The pillars there is not looking particularly happy. Trying to walk out. W's not bad there. Now it's not over. They've used a lot of cooldowns onto the Poppy. The wallstone comes through, and they don't have enough damage. Wei doesn't have the flash. He's going to go down too. A double kill. A bad instinctual play from IG's jungle supports, who we thought were, you know, the big leg over top esports. But it's not been as easy. I think with top esports winning the early lanes, it's just not been as easy. Not been as easy at all. Wait. Well, they're finding out Fengyue again. W wears off this time. Crashdown hits this time. Rookie body blocked with his Q. Shui doesn't have enough damage to kill him now. Now Rookie is melee range of Nio. Shui gets another stun. Wei is now back into the play. Jachi is alive. There's a sweep. And the wall won't keep them safe. Going back to that replay. Really did feel just like they didn't respect the amount of damage it would take to kill the Poppy. Fengyue had a great wall stun there too, keeping himself alive. Cream also picking up a kill from that too. Jachi is so fed already at 2-0. Not gonna lie, folks, Photic has had a bit of a shocker again, actually. He has been struggling. Hey, Sam, how's it going?
I want to see whether you needed a coffee refill.
Yeah, I actually could.
It's been having a bad one.
Yeah, I've got half of this left, but I can always down that and
That's
ask for
fine.
another.
I'm paying attention. So come yell for my name and we'll call my name and I shall be summoned. How bad has Photic been, chat?
Look, it's not been awful, but like Jachi's clearly been better. I just said Photic would be bad, I suppose.
It's good to see Jachi's actually got it in him still, you know?
Yeah. No, Jachi has been one of the most impressive players from the early part of the split. I know that not every player takes it as seriously as every other in the early split. Some players are ramping up and locking in and what have you. But yeah, Jachi's been good. Now, apparently on the Shy's stream, he said that Jaculov will be back for next split. So that was a very interesting revelation there.
I had heard that from a few people. But
Yeah. No, it was rumors, you know. It really just became kind of rumors, really. Grub's now being started by IG. Primarily a rumor, but since the Shy is close with Jackal, him affirming the rumor on stream lends more credence. Okay, right. Good to know. Good to know. Why is there so much fighting on or before the first waves now? It's not. I know it's not relevant to this game now. Well, partly because the game starts so much quicker. Chunks, you can't recall before the first wave comes in. That's a huge one, really. It's less about the level 1 plans, it's just about getting a leg up in lane, really. So if you make a mistake at the very start of the game, you can't really recall and get back to lane in time. Dragon was taken by Top Esports. Traded for the grubs that was started by IG earlier. But yeah, a lot of it is basically, if you get a fight at minute 1, that damage sticks now, in a way that it didn't in previous years. That, and also, I think that if you win early lane, it is just so broken winning early lane. And that's one of the best ways to do it, right? And you're fighting on the first waves because particularly winning bot lane means that your jungler can, particularly if you're on blue side, you can invade into bot jungle. If you're on red side, you don't get to invade, but you get to protect the invade. So basically, fighting for early jungle invade, like on the first cliff. Photic has to flash way out of the W. Well played for Fongyo there, actually. And then the other thing also, of course, being bot scuttle is really important for bot lane safety and jungle pathing. Michael, tone it down a little bit. Like, I get you don't like some of these players, but, you know, keep it civil, you know. Yeah, Photic had a very good Demacia Cup. He had that one very good series versus JDG. But this is one of the worries about Photic. He's a very streaky player. Has a couple of good series back-to-back, and then things fall off. Most it's ever really led to is kind of a good regular season. Hasn't really lasted into a playoffs before. Way spotted there. No, they're both level 8. Fairly even between the two. And the big difference is that bot lane matchup. Jachi is so far ahead of Photic. Cream can always shuffle over this. That's fine. Fongyo stunned, so not able to do that much. Rookie down a significant amount of CS, by the way. Partly, I wonder whether that was because of him trying to fight for prio to keep his to deal with the early jungle leads. It's still early in the season. Do you guys remember how Katie looked at the start of this season last year? Very true. Very true. IG should have picked 1xN over Photic. Yeah, I agree. I think 1xN should be on a top team. He absolutely should be. This guy is very, very good. Okay, jump onto Fongyo. Magnet Storm pulled into. I think they're going to be safe with the Poppy ult. Photic now left alone. Ignite put down onto him for the funsies, I guess. Hang on, he's spotted on a recall again, but now he's around the corner. I don't think Wei expected that. That's a great flash wall stun. Much better from the supporter top esports again. Having a good game on the Poppy. There we go. Good stuff from him. And we were saying, hey, he's not really impressed us so far. Well, that definitely helps things, doesn't it? Yep. Yeah, coffee does help, Sam. Thank you very much. Appreciate you an awful lot there. Sam's day off, still helping with the stream.
Stand a lookout for you.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, flash away in middle. That's what happened there. That makes some sense. Jachi has a BT. I was wondering why why MF stayed basically full health after all that trading. Yep, that'll do it. That will do it, won't it? Bloodthirster one of. Thing is, Bloodthirster used to be the most broken starting AD item in the game. Back in like 2013, 2014, everyone would build it. When it used to stack up AD and lifesteal, and then when you died, you'd lose those stacks. It would stack it up to 20 times or something like that. I think that briefly came back out, actually. No. Sorry, Peanut. No, we're not. I wasn't invited back this year, which sucks. So LPL's my life. LPL's my life. Cyanol back into the side lane for the farm alarm. Dragon spawning now. Second dragon on the table for the top esports, who are so far ahead already. 4K at 15 minutes is absurd. Just IG's laning phase has just not been good enough today. Top esports have just gotten so much extra out of the laning phase, which you wouldn't normally expect. Another play to Jatch as well. Give him another 80 gold. Sure, why not? Sobro finding his natural habitat as a crocodile in river. 369 might come down and cancel the recall. Won't do so. Dragon taken by top esports easily. IG is so trash? No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think they're a very high risk, high reward team, and this is one of those times where we see the risk, not the reward, sadly, for themselves. Interesting how Cream left the turret to last hit the minions, though. It does count as zone kills, of course. That was one of the better, like, even on the very release Herald, there were some really broken things you could do where you could put the, like, the old kind of, like, very vibrant purple Herald into a side lane and get farm from it. So you can kind of farm 2 lanes at once. Technically, Yorick could do that too with Maiden. It's a thing which could happen. Don't even think that's true, Michael, as well. I mean, Rookie's been very good in lane recently, right? I think Rookie's laning phase against everyone not named Knight has largely been very good. Did very well against Cream in their first series. Okay, Herald started. Fungi is on his own a little bit here. IG are just so far down in gold. How are they going to find any winning angles here? I mean, not that they necessarily will, right? That's the difficulty of it, but how can they? Sobro, clear out this wave here, trying to get some good advantage in the side lane. Cream jumps into by Rookie. He can't slide out of this now. Has to flash. Now he can slide. He's free of the minefield. And that's bought enough time. Now it comes up, and that is so much damage. There is the subjugation put down. It'll keep him alive. It doesn't make you feel that good. Poppy ult to remove the engage threat. Not bad. Things fizzle out. Is Jachi going to be benched when Jackalov returns? Well, I mean, if Jackalov is starting, where is Jachi, you know? This is why I'm wondering whether Jachi goes to another team which is struggling a little bit. I mean, guys, we could see Jachi on IG next split if a Jackalov comes back to top esports. We'll see, right? Nio. Ooh, jumps on by Sobro. Good trade from him here. There is a flash on Nio. There is for Sobro too. Flash for flash trade, and now Sobro, this is a one-way trip. How much more can they get out of it? Now, he's dying basically for the Herald at this point. Gives up his life, flash for the jungler. It does give Herald to IG, and that's probably more than they were owed in this early game, because they were, well, they're down 5k still. But yeah, if Jackalov comes back, you ask questions, don't you? I'd imagine they look to pick up Tien. I imagine they look to pick up, well, I don't know which supports to be around. I mean, would Mako go back to top esports? I don't know. I'm not sure. The thing is, that you could ask the same questions of Jway. Wait, right? Jway is a good support player. If Mako comes back, where does he go? The same with Sobro and the Shy. Although, I mean, there are pretty good top laners in the LPL right now, so I'm not sure Sobro's position would be as certain. You know, like, out of the top teams, I think that everyone is happy with their top laners. In terms of supports, where would Jway go? I mean, maybe Jway would go into JD Gaming if Vampire continues to struggle. But besides that, maybe he goes over to top esports. Maybe we have, like, Jway go to top esports if Mako takes his starting spot. Of course, Weibo as well. With her. 369. Getting ran down by Sobro. But, he's, I guess, the strongest player on IG. Then again, it is just Renekton into Sign. It can happen. Jway's Nico's phenomenal. It absolutely is. He's very good at that. Nautilus and Alistair, pretty good solid too. Good full charge keep from Sign on that. Almost full charge. Yeah, Jway's been one of our best supports in a little while, I would say, in terms of the most promising supports in the last while. I think it's probably like... I think Jway is probably at the top of the tree there, actually. And then you've got, like... We'll see how Palkia develops, and obviously Vampire's in there, too. I'd put Jway a bit above Palkia, because... I think that... sorry, a bit above Vampire, because Vampire's not... Well, he kind of throws as many games as he wins, and his macro is not as good. I think his potential upsides. If he played at his peak every time, yeah, Vampire probably deserves to be up there, but I think Jway's probably above him, I think. But it's not crazy far off. Hang on. Cream jumping onto Rookie, forcing the flash. Winning the reaction test there, actually. You know, if Rookie had got that E down in time, all he does is, you know, just fling his face into rocks. Maybe Mecha, yeah. Although, I mean, we have seen mid-split roster change. Well, JDG have changed rosters like you change pairs of socks, you know. Which I presume is every day. You better be changing your socks every day. Wait. Has the pillar. Jachi's on the other side of it. It's safe for now. 7,000. Wait. It's the funny number goal difference for now. Dragon up in 10 seconds. Oh, the funny number's gone. Herald summon in mid lane. IG trying to use that as a counterweight. Stun onto Nai, who doesn't have flash. That's not bad from Sobro. Might end up leading to the death there. The bullet time is really good on the other side, though. Way goes down jungler for jungler. Sobro, credit to him, has really tried to make the difference. Rylai's helping Cream. Rookie flying over. And it's the stun. Renekton to Leer. Cream might go down as well. It's close to Rook goes down. It's another 1-for-1. IG trading up in this situation because they get some shutdowns, especially since they were behind the game. That's a pretty sizable achievement. It cuts about 1,000 off the gold lead compared to where it could be. Photic being run up by Fungi. I mean, he's safe for now. I say, yeah, times out the steadfast presence. Just about lives. Has to use the flash anyway, and the barrier. Fungi's pop, he's been pretty good, folks. I've been like, hang on, Rookie's pretty fast. It has the ghost. Jachi uses the flash now. The stun landed from Jway. I think he would have been dead. Wall stun fails. Great W, though. I think it might be support for support. No, the flash away keeps him alive, and Jachi just shreds Rookie as well. He steps into the oncoming players and says, all right, have at thee. Wait. Shuffled onto one more or two. Might do it. No, wait. Will escape. Fracka in the mid lane. Fracas. That's the one. I think top esports come ahead just about. By the way, Dragon is still alive. Shoved back into 369. Knockup coming afterwards. Cream got pretty good damage right now. Cerberus forced to Dominus. Does not have that flash. And I think he'll die. The wall stun will not confirm it. 369 will have to go the extra mile and put that flash into play. Has his ultimate. Takes a lot to do it. But then again, they got the gold to back them up anyway. Damn, top esports and their Summoner's Rift investments. Wall stun onto Jway, who's... okay, well, he's caught Fongyu into it. The knockup's really good on the back end of it. Doesn't lead to the death of Jway just yet. Cream, I'm not sure about that shuffle forwards. Rookie, what's he got to play with? Flip back onto the Scion. Uses the ult midway through that play. IG are just fist fighting. They realize, look, we're probably not winning the overall fight of things. Let's try and thread the needle. Bullet time comes through. Kills off Way, and now Nio has a flash. So maybe kill Rookie. No, not quite. IG trying to bare knuckle fist fight, but they just don't have the gold. Dragon went over to top esports in amongst all of that. They're on sold point now. This is how everything started off. No, it didn't have that flash from the last time that Sobro traded flash for flash with him. Sobro very nearly opens up a win condition here. I was very impressed by his Renekton from Demacia Cup, and I continue to be so here. Way does go down. I mean, that's the problem with playing from behind the game. Every player's a risk. You must take low percentage plays, and sometimes you just get punished. Rookie, great combo after that with the Renekton. of Sobro to get himself another kill onto the enemy mid laner. This is what happened after. Rookie pops that ghost, and Jachi just steps into them. Oh, Jachi. That's so stylish. Gets the double up off a minion. Fogyoy stops the crash down, and the second one comes up, and again he does this. Double up gets that crit. Jachi, oh my god. What a player. What a player. So now Dragon's down. There is a Baron which has been taken. And top esports are somewhat chilling. Somewhat chilling. Yeah, Jachi is speaking so much Mandarin right now, folks. So much Mandarin. Failed wall stun onto Sobro for Fengyue. Azir in a side lane, Sion in the other. To IG, this is one of the other problems when you're falling behind as well, is that you don't really have the luxury of farming 3 lanes because you die in even numbers because you're so far behind. But then also the problem is you're then trying to make power plays with more people in one area of the map. And the top esports can just send someone to a side lane. You know, they were farming 3 lanes. They move a little quicker. Now going into the enemy team, into the enemy jungle. 369 could ult. I don't know if he has the angle hit. Let's be honest, they don't need to take the risk. It forced them away. Prince put an Azir turret to keep himself safe here. They need to be a little bit afraid of the Talia wall. It's the one thing they need a little bit of fear about. Oh, chat sheet. 5.6k up. 10,000 gold overall. Another pillar doesn't quite land. Rookie trying to get that flick back. It's unassisted. I'm doing it against a Misfortune with Strut. It's just really annoying. They're just too fast. Even with the brown bag boots, and Misfortune is too powerful with that W passive in terms of the movement speed. Very hard to hit free skill shots onto them. Very surprised that the jungle support of top east. Hang on, that's a better flick back. There we go. Onto Cream, but it doesn't matter. The bullet time makes the world stand still. Dway goes down. Cream is disengaged by his team. Feiglinger, the coward's shout comes out from 369. A triple. Oh my god, not again. Not again. Surely not. Jachi won't get the penta this time because Nio cuts it off at the triple. IG have been well and truly beaten in this series. Top esports clearly better. Gained some revenge from that last series where Top esports fell oh so close, but just about short they will die. Guys, maybe let's not, throw to the towers. Shui is up and available. I don't think Rookie will live to see the day here. Maybe you will, because Top esports will turn their attention to the Nexus. IG will lose to Top esports. They will not complete the 2-0 series over them. Top esports will even up their head-to-head and go 2-4, bringing IG down to the same level. A much quicker second series than our first. Well, that's because there's one less game. Tends to work that way. Top esports starting to recover a little bit. We had a lot of worries about them replacing this jungle support as players took breaks. IG changing almost everyone on the roster besides mid jungle as well. Both these teams are kind of the refitted, revamped versions, trying to sustain themselves in this year. I think everyone agrees these two teams have downgraded from last year, players taking breaks. And if you have enjoyed what you've been seeing here, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, so you can ignore the adverts, which are currently on as well. It does make a difference to us. If you're watching on a third-party site, think about heading back here to the main channel, following us on the socials as well. And keep following us in what we do. We cover as much LPL as humanly possible, and turns out that there's a lot of LPL to try and test the limits of that statement. Because the series is said to be a banger too many times. It was a banger the last time we saw it. I'm sorry. It was a banger the last time we saw it. Sadly, a little bit of a dud this one. Top esports just going to sweep the floor with them. If you'd like to support us, please think about clicking these links. And honestly, just spending your time here makes a lot of difference to us anyway. I don't know if Sam's streaming. I don't know whether he counts that as part of his day off. I don't believe he will be. We shall see. Hang on, what? UK judge rules that RuneScape gold is fair game when suing for theft. What? Especially when an ex-developer stole some. What? Huh? RuneScape crime? I would imagine Sam would have been live right now if he wanted to be streaming. So we'll find someone to raid you over to. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you'd like to stick around on Twitch, we'll find someone to raid you over to. And if you're on YouTube, the show will end here. And we'll see you next time. Oh, hang on, wait. Is LC... we'll go to Macaria, because Macaria's... Macaria's rated us loads recently. We'll go over to him. Actually, he might end up, like, finishing... I think the series just ended. Well, I want to give him a raid.